Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, James on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat Cape Town, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You wanna get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Ba.
Spoon.
Skidibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kuwa. Bese kuwa, kujileo. Kuwa, kujileo.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, James on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon.
Beseku.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Bada 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 bada.
Spoon.
Skiddy biddy biddy da bado.
Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment.
Kuwa. Beseku kuwa kudile. Kuwa.
Okay, folks, what a way to welcome you to another great edition of the program Spoon Talk. We're here live on Spoon TV, and of course, we're on Fabric TV and Super TV as well, or on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube at Spoon Talk Live. Spoon Talk is Liberia's most informative and, of course, most listened to program on radio and online. And, of course, this is where you get authentic information about Liberia, and you get to interact with the very newsmakers, and of course engage and ask all of the tough questions, and they afford you the platform where your voices can be heard. I'd like to say welcome to the program this evening. My name is Nelson Colette, and yes, so let me welcome Dr. Richardson now. Dr. Richardson, let me say good afternoon to you from
Nelson?
where you are. I think it's
Yeah, Nelson. Hello, hello, Liberians. Oops, I'm hearing echo. We're good now. We're good now. Well, we want to welcome
okay.
you to Spoon Talk. It's Monday. We had a day of rest, I believe, Sunday, and we're back again to discuss important issues about Liberia. So I want to thank you for joining us. If you have not shared the program so far, please do so. Join, the comment section. Viewers, you can comment in the comment section, uh, and the panelists will be rolling in. So Liberians, I want to just tell you thank you for joining us wherever you are. It's a pleasure having you here at Spoon. Nelson, is there anything going on? What's going on in the country?
Yeah, lots of things happening in the country right now. So many happenings. And someone was sharing fun the other day. The person called specifically to ask me, "My man, why every day there's something always happening in Liberia?" And and I was
Yeah.
telling the person, it is that way because there are people in Liberia, and of course, so there will always have to be something happening here. And so lots of things happening in the country today that are Richardson. First of all, Liberia is nearing 176 years. Liberians are gearing up to celebrate 176 years of independence as a country, excluding the other years of the colonial period, the Commonwealth period from 1822 all the way to 1846. Since 1847, Liberia is going to be 176 years. And so, as part of the activities, they there has been a jam traffic. So many people who made use of this corridor, talking about the Tottenham Boulevard that comes from ELW Junction going as far as up Capitol Hill. There has been a jam traffic along this corridor today. And the reason for that traffic is that as part of the independence celebration, some of the less fortunate folks in Liberia have been receiving rations or some sort of 26 package. I understand from the government of Liberia. So that has been going on. So I didn't know that we had such a huge number of less fortunate or physically challenged people in our country till I saw them all on the streets today. Of course, it caused a very huge traffic. So there has been, that kind of activity happening across Monrovia today, where the government and some of the folks in the government have been giving some packages, rations, if you may, as part of the 26th celebration to some of the less fortunate people in the country. So that's the first thing I just thought to register before moving on to the other aspects.
Yeah, Nelson. So, how many physically challenged people do you think we have in the country?
Well, it's difficult. I haven't come across a particular number from
Uh-huh.
a survey or a statistics or whatever, but you know, we have so many of them, and estimating from what I saw today,
Uh-huh.
Dr.
Uh-huh.
Richardson, if I were to
Uh-huh.
estimate from what I saw today, I saw pretty close to 1,000 people
Wow.
just within this corridor. Just within this corridor, you can
Wow.
imagine the traffic. The road was blocked from this morning because I made my way to Central Monrovia this morning. I was stuck in the traffic for about an hour, and coming back, I was stuck in the traffic for close to an hour. I went back. I was stuck in the traffic for like 30 minutes. And coming back, just before coming on the show again, I was
Mm-hmm.
stuck in the traffic for about 30 minutes.
Wow.
So they and they've not, it wasn't a specific program where maybe the people came and they are here throughout the day. They've been coming and receiving their rations and going. So you can imagine a situation where people are not remaining in that particular position, but they are coming and going, and the number is still there. That
Wow.
speaks to, the number of less fortunate people we have in the country.
Absolutely. And we're just speaking about, Monrovia, that area. We're not even speaking about other counties. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And also, I expected you to say 100, but I didn't, 1,000. Wow, that's a lot.
Close to 1,000 that are richest. There's
Wow.
been a very huge number, yeah, a very huge number of folks along, just along the road. Not even talking about those who went in the other areas, somewhere in to get their ration and so forth, just along the road. And they're
Hmm.
all along the road, even up to now, even as we speak right now, they're all along the road, finding it difficult to even get on vehicles that will take them back to where they came from. And so it's a very challenging
So,
situation.
so Nelson, I'm not going to go on to other story, but can you describe what were some of the physical challenges that you saw? Were there people who legs were amputated, people who were in wheelchair, people who, couldn't walk, or what did you see?
Yeah, I saw some blind. Okay, let me not use the word blind. I saw some visually impaired people along the streets. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of them were visually impaired people,
Okay.
and there are also those who are in wheelchairs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Most times it is the kids who will take them around, and yes, I saw a
Sad.
lot of them.
Very
So
sad.
basically, people who are visually impaired and you know some
Physically.
people in wheelchairs, the physically challenged,
Mhm.
yes, they are in the majority. They are in the majority.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Thank you. That's an important area for us to focus on in our country. I see some people in the comment section are saying that is rights for vote that they're doing. The government's trying to buy them. So, well, but I think we need to focus on that area. Support that group, those group of physically challenged and visually impaired group. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But
And
what?
Dr. Richardson,
Uh-huh.
even coming along, just before I go to the next story, even as I was driving, coming back, I felt a bit guilty. It's just that I wasn't going that far from where those guys are, but like, how do they get back home? How do they get back home? As I speak, it's raining. It's raining right now, and you can imagine those physically visually impaired, physically challenged individuals are not just in the rain, but they are struggling to get on vehicles to get home. So it's yeah,
Yeah, it would have
it's
been nice if they would have arranged transportation for that group, considering
yeah.
the challenges that they have. Just getting to places, considering their challenges. So whoever is giving, the government is giving them food and whatever help that it can give them, but to have considered, the logistic of dropping it off to the various destinations so that they wouldn't have to be stuck over there. But yeah, Well, maybe they will do it next time, if there will be a next
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So a few more other happenings in the country. Um, the next one has to do with water supply. Now, in Central Monrovia has been cut off from pipeline water for a very long time. Since 2014,
What?
Central Monrovia got cut
Are
off.
you serious?
Yeah, since 2014. Yeah,
What?
since
So
2014.
how are they
Uh,
getting? I usually see those guys carrying barrel of water in the
Jerry Kings. Yeah, we call
what
it
is it?
containers.
Containers. Okay.
Yeah, the
Wow.
containers.
So that's
Yeah,
what's happening. That's why those guys are doing that.
yeah. So in fact, the shortage of water in the capital uh, brought about another kind of hustle for a lot of people too, because that in that with that they will
Yes.
take their jerry cans or container or gallons or and just
Yes.
move somewhere, put the water in the wheelbarrows and then push it to where they want to go and so
Yes.
forth. So that's been happening for a very long time. At a point, even the grounds, the capital became one of those places that was in the news on so many occasions. Different reports about how the bathrooms were filthy. And a lot of time you went to engage the administration there, those who should be in charge of all of those things. They will usually point to the fact that there were issues with water supply. So Central Monrovia has been facing that challenge for some time. And so today, finally, the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation was able to uh, make water available. Central
That's,
Monrovia was able to receive water supply today. So
that's
that's
good
one thing that's
news.
been celebrated. Yeah. And a lot of people are commending the government for that as well. Why some say that no, we should not be commending the government because this is a World Bank project in the tune of some 6 million or so. But yeah, but that's why it is. The people now in Central Monrovia have access to pipeline water. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good news. I'm happy about, the people in Central Monrovia getting water after such a long time since 2014. But on the other hand, here it is again, we are depending on an international body to provide us water, or grant us something. And isn't that an expectation of a government to provide the things that we need to people? So
Hmm.
that's just a question that I have.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
curious what's going to happen to those guys who used to be doing a little hustle of bringing the water, because that took that could have cut into the business now.
Yeah. They take bread for any minimum. They take
Yeah,
bread
that's
for
what
that
they
thing.
do. Yeah, let me welcome Mr. Jerry. Mr. Jerry, I'm happy to see you. The Unity Party people, they get jealous when you come on the on the set. Or the last time you were here, I told them that I was the only person against all of them. So I missed you greatly. So it's good to see you back.
Absolutely. And yesterday, our Independence Day, I am Barrow March. I was on the field, and a group of people, I think JMB supporters, with some communist supporters, some supporters on my side, anyways. And they were asking me why I'm going against JMB. And I said, look, I'm not going against JMB. We have to distinguish our candidates. Why should anybody make Councillor Gonglo the first place to go against George Weah if we can't tell them that Councillor Gonglo is better than JMB? Or if the communist people cannot tell you that communist is better than it's not. If you stop that kind of process, you are not being fair to the Liberian people because they need to have a choice, and we need to discuss all the bad things. If you see anything about Gonglo, say it. Don't waste time. Go anything about communist, say it. If I see something about JNB, let me say it. Let the people have the choice to determine whether JNB will be the best choice. And if they make a decision against some of our advice, the pieces of advice, they get themselves to blame. They say, well, we told you that it was not going to be good. I think that's the way politics should be going. And I intend to continue to do that. Today, my opening will be on that. One of the problems we have in the Liberian media is the inability of
Mr.
the
Jerry,
media to follow through.
Mr. Jerry, yeah. Can you hold your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not going there. I
So
just telling you.
and then let's go back to Nelson. But were you playing this? Were you playing soccer? I just wanted to.
I was commentating the game.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I wonder if you're feeling some back
No, I
aches.
can't play it now. I have to have them to bring the ambulance to be by before I can.
That's what I expected. Well, Nelson, carry on. Again, somebody just asked. I'll just throw this in here. I'm kind of watching the live feed periodically. Somebody just said, "Why are all these good things happening now in Liberia? They're taking care of the physically impaired.
The
They
physical,
they
yeah,
bring water. So why now? Why now?" That's what somebody just asked. So I'm just throwing that out to the public. Go ahead, Nelson.
yeah. So now aside from those two developments, uh, the District 8 representative Akaris Gray uh, dedicated the district office. He has been the lawmaker in that district for, he took over from uh, the former lawmaker Rufus Novell. Once chief of office staff, he took over. But uh, one thing that the people of the district have complained about was that they didn't have a district office. Representative Akaris Gray dedicated a district office today. But as part of that ceremony, the the campaign chair, the chairman of the campaign of the CDC, the maritime boss, Eugene Nangwe, he made some very interesting comments at that occasion. The first thing is that he said they he has some damaging recordings about former Vice President Joseph Boakai, and those recordings, when they are released, the Liberian people will be shocked. And then the next thing is that he predicted a first round victory for the CDC as they gear up for uh, the election come October. Yes, so that's
Hmm.
one thing, and
He's keeping us in suspense.
yeah,
I want to know what's in. I want to know what's in the recording. So
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see what Mr. Nangwe has to say. We'll wait and see.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it looks like let me you want to add Stanton on
So I think okay, that yeah. Let me
because he
add
was showing
him.
a picture.
I see. He's, okay, I bring.
Stanton, welcome to the show. I see that you're probably putting a picture up. I don't know if it's you or Nelson was putting a picture up. Nelson, was that
No,
you?
it wasn't me. It was Nelson.
Oh, Nelson, was that you, Nelson? Did you
I
have
said, I said it was Nelson. Then you say, was that you again?
no? No, I see Nelson smiling. That's why he ain't answering affirmatively. So, okay, I think
Nelson,
yes.
can you please answer that to Richardson? Whether it was you.
Uh, yeah, I touched that photo somehow.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something to say about the photo. I saw it up here, but if you don't have anything to say, that'd be good. Oops, why is my
Gibson,
battery?
what's up? Gibson, we're not hearing you.
I'm very good. I'm very good. I
I got
missed it.
Fagon. I got Fagon in my ear. Fagon said he coming for you.
I'm not going to go on Falcon. I'm not going against him. I'm going straight up with my things today. Falcon can say anything about me. I will not respond to him.
You
Mhm.
sure?
No, uh, today I drank some kind of medicine not to respond to Falcon.
Wow. Wow. A new day, a brand new day. We are grateful for that. Wow. That's Richardson. That's good. Oh, you read it. Thank you for talking to for reaching out to Gibson.
I'm happy Mr. Gibson here because it's been tough. Let me alone here with all of you here.
I used to watch. I used to see what all went on. I try to come on no way, but that's okay.
I'm telling
You are a
you.
strong
So
woman. You are a
so
strong woman.
are you leaning are you doing this because of Mr. Gibson?
Yeah, oh yeah, because Mr. Gibson.
You think he's supporting you?
I
Or
don't
you're
think he
reaching
supports me, but at
or
least I
you're
know.
reaching out to Taiwan now?
Well, I don't
You're
think
not reaching out to everybody, only Taiwan left.
no, uh, I don't think he supports me, but I appreciate the different. He comes from a different view versus me hearing the same view from Daniel Sano, Mo Ali, and everybody else who got to sing the same song. So even if he's talking about Taiwan, it's something different.
Yeah, what I'm saying. So you're trying to get them on your side now. That's fine.
You only the story that you're trying to talk. I'm talking about that one story. You're trying to talk different thing here.
You know, Taiwan can take money secretly, right? He got a good reputation. He doesn't.
Good.
You know that,
Yes.
right?
Very soon we'll bring Vandala Patrick on from the Kiawan Gonglo group. Vandala
Are you
Patrick.
bringing him on the show?
Yeah, I mean, he will be into he'll be changing with
Yeah,
men.
but bring it on. But bring it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I
But
want to see the
where
vice.
is my mate?
Mame is coming today, but I'm trying to set up with Vandala to get him to be prepared for the time. So yeah, he will come on, and then we'll get some good discussion here.
But my,
I
go ahead,
want to
Doctor.
I want to hear about your vice president. When is he coming?
Yeah, when?
Okay. Let me see. Let me get off here first. Let me see.
Oh, the
Yeah,
asthma my vice president man went awful.
maybe you want to go call him to get a date for us.
But you know the Taiwan guys that they are not organized. Taiwan is organized, but like Fagon can say, Gibson is not organized. Because how can he just promise since 2 weeks ago then now he doesn't know?
Busy.
Busy doing what?
Everybody working in America now.
But they won't pay him.
I know, but I don't want to.
And boy, what kind of how you get on here so?
I tell you, yesterday he had blue on. I think when he want to go pick up the vice president, the picture, though they were blue, so he bluffing in America. You getting follow?
Okay, the VP and I will conclude this after the show. Then I will tell you the exact date. I will send you a message.
The VP scared to come on.
No, he want to come on.
What's his name? That Yagba
Wolo.
Kapuge.
My name is King Ure.
Why the man drop the euro? Why did he? Why did he drop the euro though?
Ure was his uncle name, so he cannot continue. He wanted to carry his father's name.
I mean, I'm blaming him. I think he got to carry his father's name. Yeah. You know, it's very important.
So you know Mo Ali last name, huh? Ali? Mo Ali just took his last name, Ali. You know that? You know that?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I came. You ain't rare. I know Mo Ali said he was a David.
Mo, what's your last name, Mo?
Ali.
Wow.
My last name is Ali, Muhammad Ali.
I don't believe that. Jerry, tell the full story, Mr. Jerry. Please tell the full story. Yeah.
I did man in 1992. What name was he carrying as a last name? I see. You're right here.
1992.
You see, you started with Mo Ali though. You said you wasn't going to pick on anybody. Look at political people pass away.
I'm not picking on him.
My name, so y'all asked for the main political vice senator bearer name. So
my name is Muhammad Ali.
All right, no problem. We'll leave it like that.
Bishop keep money from Muhammad.
I'm not going to contest the information.
Is it Mo Ali from Sierra Leone? It's not from
Keep money from.
No, he's from Egypt. He's not from Sierra
Leone.
Synergy?
Beneji.
Yeah.
You know Cape Man.
No, I actually never heard of that part of Cape Man before.
Because you don't know Cape Man, that's what Richard said. You don't know that place.
Listen, Beneji, when you pass by Sinje, you pass by Morphe, you pass by
Bo side.
Nyela, Beneji, Koema, then Beneji Buima.
But I almost close to Eric to Sierra Leone.
So from Beneji, you go to Wangeko, then Tiani, then Boorosa.
Okay.
Thank you. That was the man from Sierra Leone. I told you he's from Sierra Leone.
But Mo, your father from Egypt, right?
Mr. Jerry, you started.
Your man father from Egypt.
A man father from Lebanon.
I'm not Egyptian.
Y'all go work on it.
The man father is from Egypt, not from Lebanon.
Y'all go work on it.
We want to welcome every one of you. Mo, I'm seeing pictures on Facebook. JMB, he was at a Dunkin' Donut. I'm trying to see if I can get it. But this photo I'm seeing is kind of really, really, really sharp though. Delcy, can you put it up? the photo that he was at a Donkey Donut, getting a Donkey Donut. More. I want us to, seriously speaking.
Yeah, be at a Dunkin' Donuts.
Somebody say my from Pakistan.
That's not healthy eating, man. That's not healthy eating.
I mean, my man, let's start the show, but leave the puppy. What I have
Well,
to
man, I eat Donkey Donut for years. He can't eat one day. He say healthy eating.
The sugar will go up.
But he got sugar. He say sugar will go up.
Well, your sugar said you have to go.
I mean, can more answer my question. Echo. The puppy just started Donkey Donut. You get fair. And he get out from the car. You say he's sick. He can't get out.
Yeah.
He walking there. You're fair. Which one you would take now?
Who are you talking for today now?
Who
are you talking for today? I thought you're neutral or independent.
I am neutral, but allow me to ask my question. You are not allowing me to ask my question.
Minister or what?
No.
Yeah, so he left New Jersey at around 12 this afternoon. And he's on his way to Rhode Island. They are having some independence celebration there tomorrow. No, Wednesday. No, Thursday. Now, Thursday, Independence Day or Wednesday? Wednesday. And then from there, he will be flying to Minnesota for the event he came for. From Minnesota back here and Liberia next day. Yeah.
So that Richardson, this picture, seriously speaking, is something about the photo though. Mo, I mean Gibson, are you seeing? Tell me. Let's start with this photo. Talk to me about what you are seeing right now. His right hand in his pocket.
You know, Gibson will not see anything good.
No, that's why I want to start out with Gibson. I really want to start out with Gibson. I'm seeing something strange, and I think Liberians need to hear this. He make a stop. If you are in Liberia, you never heard of Donkey Donut. You go there to get your coffee, your bagel, your donut, and every little thing. Water, juice, and thing. But I'm saying, seriously, Gibson, help me out.
I like the shoes he wore. I mean, that's my kind of shoes. It's very nice, and he had a gold watch on with a short sleeve shirt in the summer, which is good. I'm just wondering if you want to get Dunkin' coffee or you want to get a donut. If it is a coffee, I always get a coffee. It's good. But if it's a donut, then we want our president not to be eating donut too much.
All right, so let me get it.
You heard the man say something. The man said,
"I want our president." Go ahead.
I told you they will go to Baka.
Okay.
That's all.
But Gibson, you finish. Gibson, you finish.
Your time finish.
That's what Richard said.
Clarify my comment. I can clarify.
Gibson, we come back to you. You finish. Once it's out, it's out. That's what Richard said. What are you saying? A gentleman with a coffee and something in the bag, but look at Jose Yiman Boakai. Look at Ambassador Boakai. I want you to tell Liberians to not fall or listen to us. What are you seeing in this picture? And more after I come to you, you should tell me about the two gentlemen with the former vice president, please. Talk to me, Dr. Richardson.
He's dressed casually than I usually see him outside of his home. He seems to be, I guess, walking or something. I know he and Mo Ali may be wearing the same kind of hat on his head on their head now. I don't know if that's an issue. That's a trendy issue now. That's basically all I can see.
Are you looking at someone that's sick? Are you looking at someone that under stress?
I can't tell from just looking at a picture. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want you to answer from that end. Are you looking at someone that under stress? For him to walk into a Dunkin' Donut and Mo, who are these guys around here? You are muted, Mo. Who are these guys? Who are the other two gentlemen?
So the guy on my right in the coat is personal security, and the one on the left is like a brother to GMB. He's a very long-term friend. He's called Uncle Johnny.
Oh, So is this the Sir Johnny that we always heard about? I've
Yeah.
heard about him.
So
Okay.
usually when JMB comes to the US, uh, Uncle Johnny always brings him this coffee. This
Mm.
morning I was there. He was asking, "You bringing my coffee from Dunkin'?" So I kept wondering. I thought they Dunkin' that only do not they can sell there. So when Johnny came, he had that coffee and he took the coffee. So I think he likes that Dunkin' coffee. I don't know what's in it because I don't really like coffee. I don't know
I mean,
why
I've
people.
been to Doggy Donut. Dr. Richardson been to Doggy Donut. Mepe have gone there. Gibson know about Doggy Donut. You can make your coffee any which way. You can take it a strong regular coffee and whatsoever. But again, Mo, I believe that you met JMB. I believe that you are on the train to Minnesota. But talk to me about his outlook right now. What are you seeing? Talk to me about his strength. Talk to me about his stress level. Are you seeing anything like he's stressful? He's kind of down. He's weak. Can you further explain for our audience?
Well, first from the airport, he was very upbeat, and I think I was the first to see him at the airport. I spotted him and like, oh, okay, there him there coming. So we all went to him and we were laughing. At the hotel, I saw an energetic figure, somebody who is upbeat, and we talked about the campaign. But basically, you're saying, "Lo, you know what? This particular trip I'm on, I came to give my granddaughter up. I came to enjoy her wedding. I don't want to be involved with that or plenty things." But just when I left him this afternoon, and came back, and I got a phone call from somebody, and the person is worried. The person like, "Moso, what's the update? What's the update from the papi?" So I said, what update? He said, oh, somebody just posted on Facebook that the papi, the surgery, he didn't make it. So I asked him, I said, but chief, you really need to explain anything to me. Who told you that TND needs surgery? Or he's supposed to undergo surgery somewhere? But he said, but I heard just saying all over here. So I said, well, I am not in the know. I don't know of any doctor appointment on this trip. In fact, I know he's just going to attend the wedding, and he probably will have a town hall meeting in Minnesota with supporters. He has two high level meetings in Minnesota, and after that, he'll be coming back here and depart the country the next day.
Mepe, thank you for joining us. I'm going to put up the picture. We are starting on a slow pace because this is what we do. No rush. Mepe, where you got crutches behind you? You want to tell us something? Yeah, you crippled now?
Yeah, I'm the one not well. GMB is
Ah,
talking. I need help.
okay, okay. But can you tell us about this photo, please?
Wow. The photo says a lot, you know. It says a lot. And the photo speaks. You want me to speak to the photo? There in his usual wisdom hat. That is the JMB training hat. He doesn't wear the barret. He wears the one you see Mo Ali, Ente Miata Gibson. I got one too. Ente Miata family. I got one too. It's the trademark of the JMB wisdom. You see him wearing it. I think it's a wooden shirt. I want to think he's wearing, dressed very casually, very upbeat. Matter of fact, the moment he got here, the next morning, he gave me a call. He said, my chairperson, I heard you in an accident. You're not doing well. I mean, he was praying for my speedy recovery. So I think if there's anyone who's not well, yeah, it's me. The old man is energetic. Those are politics from people who cannot, outpace us, who understand their frustration. This man is a very transparent man. Just because he told people that I have a pacemaker. Today I was looking at the report in the news that the Prime Minister Benjamin Mwali Wayne said nothing wherever his
No.
thank
Ask,
you.
Let's call
ask
away to
Joria,
away.
ask
Call
Joria,
away
you
to
have
away. I get quiet.
Benjamin
Benjamin
Nigerian,
Yakaya.
Netanyahu.
He
Yes,
got
yeah.
discharged from the hospital today with a pacemaker and going on to do his duties. I know a lot of young people who even will have a pacemaker, but you know, transparency is not something our people appreciate. And we have 20 presidential applications at neck. If we should do a medical evaluation of those people, people will start to appreciate JMB health condition. Some of those people, you don't even know, some of them mental health sicknesses, some of them diabetes. You don't know what people carry. Some of them are very young, 50s, some of them in their mid 60s. But people should respect people when it comes to their health. There is nothing that impairs this man from being a president. You know, if the wide range in 2017, everyone was talking about his health. Today the man has all lived for a lot of people. So if we should do a medical analysis of all the candidates, some people just might greatly appreciate the medical standing of the Honorable Joseph Human Boyka.
Thank you very much. Let me get back. Let me get back to our brother Gibson. Gibson, look at this.
Okay.
There's a Richardson you see?
That's the same picture, right?
Yeah, that's the same picture. JMB tell the white man.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I saw the same picture when I lift my head up.
I nearly asked for that JMB. I nearly asked for that JMB started bleaching.
No, because what happened is that Joe Biden is in the same donkey donut. He's ordering. He's engaging. Now, this is very interesting, folks. This is very interesting, Moadi. This picture speaks volume. This picture is reaching to the very common people. I hope political leaders can come to America and just go down. You know, when you're in Philadelphia area, go to the Ajeke area and just meet your fellow Liberians. I hope JMB on his way to Minnesota, he can go to that water side. I have eaten there. I ate the color and all. Beautiful place. Well entertaining. This is unique. I don't know what you're going to say, Gibson. You ask Remy Gray. He's in Minnesota. Fadiga is in Minnesota. Go to that water side in Minnesota. You will enjoy the goodness of the food and the environment. And what happened today, I don't know who asked JMB to do this. To me, it was unique. And it is unique. As I hearing from our chat room, Leo is even appreciating the old man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leo's scared. He appreciating the old man.
You know, Stanton, have you started body reading before? There's something in body reading that says.
I never had enough school fee to study body reading. I stopped the nursing.
Okay, that's great. That's great. No worries. If you study body reading, it says anyone who looks ahead with a head bow is unconfirming. And anyone who looks ahead with his head up is confirming. Look at the picture one more time and tell me whether JMB is confirming.
Are you seeing his eyes?
His body language shows unconfirming.
No, I'm asking you a question. Are you seeing his eyes?
His eyes, yeah, I'm looking at his ears. He has
hold on now. Hold on. Are you seeing his eyes though?
Gibson, I like you. You can never disappoint.
Gibson.
I like
Gibson.
Yes.
Gibson, you started good. Don't make the people start cursing you now.
But I like the cursing part.
Nothing strange with that one.
I can't skip it.
Because you are seeing his two eyeball. Clear. Then he says all confirming.
Look, I don't want to compare something, but I will leave it like that. But I wanted to compare something and give you a clear picture of what an unconfirming look looks like. You see the gentleman on the left hand, the security guard. Look at his face and look at his confirming feature. Look at the guy on the left hand side or the right hand of JMB. He's also unconfirming. But for him, he's watching his step. JMB is trying to look ahead, but with an honor eye. That is an unconfirming posture if you read body language.
Thank you. Go ahead. I about to bring the Google picture up, the one that I was down. And let me
Can I come in?
Go ahead. I'll mess with the guy. Let me put your picture up.
But why you got so much interest in this? He's
But let
supposed
me
to be
say this.
neutral.
I'm
Gibson
neutral,
talk-
Dr. Richard saying. They may looking at JB 2 eyeball, clear. Then he still trying to squeeze it and say the man can't confirm me. Let me bring Tewo Gonglo that was looking on the floor and what he was saying.
And the JMB people
I
start
come in,
cutting
I
me
come
already.
in, Stanton, let me come in, please. You know, like how Gibson can twist the thing until he can catch himself. He said the security guy is looking ahead. He's confirming. Of course, the security guy has to look ahead. He has to look around. He has to be confirming because he's security. The man on the other side, he gave reason why the man looking down. He said the man washing his step. JMB here not down, and not up in the air. He said JMB not confirming, so he has to look for some kind of criticism on our picture. Gibson, any kind of criticism you look for on our picture. You have admitted that our president doesn't need to eat Dunkin' Donuts. That I agree to. He went for coffee. Our president went for coffee. Thank you. Forget about that confirming, unconfirming. The man washing it front and he washing his step at the same time. That makes
people
very
me on the comment line. They say, "Oh, Gibson, you good." Now because I say his picture is unconfirming, they say I'm a devil. I'm crazy. What's wrong with these people?
Gibson, you know where we are, so I wouldn't worry about it.
But that's a beautiful, let's see. So let's start the show. What's on your mind? Talk to us real quick. I think that Richardson was moving in that direction. But what's on your mind, Gibson? Let's start with you.
Go. Thank you very much. Stanton, I almost started when you guys were coming. I think the media in Liberia are not following through stories. And I am disappointed because the issue of Costa's allegation against JMB has not been settled. I know people will not like for me to talk about it, but there is a conflicting account in the media. JMB's son, who was present at the meeting, confirmed the meeting. Luther, who is the chairman of Unity Party, who maybe didn't go there or did not have any response, denied the meeting. JMB said, "My son, I forgave you." There's no the person who wants to be president of Liberia, they need to come clean on people. And the media, spoon talk should be able to follow through this until we get a statement from Unity Party or JMB. If we don't do that, the people will always look us. That's why they always look the media, because they know that when we raise an issue, after 1 week, it will be dead. And this story should not die. If this was Mr. Cummings, I believe this story was going to live for 1 year. If this was Councilor Gonglo, this story was going to live for 1 year. Why is it going to be VP Boakai and we drop the story tomorrow morning? We're not following through. And the people, they are in doubt. They want answers. We are the only option they have to raise this question. So I think we should demand an answer from the Unity Party, demand an answer from JN Boakai to speak to the issues, the $30,000. Who did he go to? Who was the one offering that money? Who did he discuss with? Why did he even refuse it? It would be a good news to know why he refused that money. And who are those that offer the money? I don't even care about Costa. Costa maybe is somebody I don't care about. But who was offering $30 million to infuse into the Liberian political system? What did JMB see for which he refused that money? It will add more value to him to respond to these accounts rather than saying, "My son, I forgave you, you are my son." So the second thing I want to say is Councilor Gonglo is now preparing to go on his second tour. Even though it's raining, he's getting back to the people, to the villages. He's preparing, and that's why he knows best. Getting to the people, speaking with the people, going to the villages, going to the towns, and telling the people how he's going to rescue this country, how he's going to reform this country and become a project manager to make sure that things that we need and nip corruption. And most of the people who don't like Gonglo because he's going to prosecute people for corruption. I told you the other day, right? He came to my house, and while leaving, he said, "Gibson, you are lucky you built a kind of house. If you were in my government and I see the house, I will prosecute you." That is the person I'm talking about. Someone who look at his friend and say, "I will prosecute you if you had a kind of money or had a kind of house in my administration." That is the kind of president we want, who will be very serious and very screwed to making sure that corruption is not overtaking our political system. I'll pause here.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gibson. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson. What's on your mind? You're muted, Dr. Richardson. We're not hearing you. Can you guys hear her? I'm not hearing you. Can you go out and come back, Dr. Richardson? Thank you. Mo, talk to us. What's up? Can you hear us, Dr. Richardson?
Gibson,
Just go off. Just get all the way out and just come back in.
you know, we will not respond to Gibson a 30 million case since he's demanding answer. The next thing I want you to do is to organize your banner, your poster, your constant in front of UP headquarters with demand answer. When you do it for straight 7 days in row, I will send one begin to talk to you. Until you can do that one there, you go read anything you want to read, say anything you want to say. We're moving forward. Here's my thought for today. You know, every morning we get up, we receive tons of calls from our supporters. Oh, they say the people planning to cheat, though. Oh, the people want to do this. So, in fact, one of the things we've heard, they set aside $5 million. They got some presidential candidates in the race that is of their own making. So that they say, oh, when the men cheat, they will give them money to say, congratulations, President, we are. They set aside money for the media and all those kind of stuff. But I want to say this to our people. Every time they talk about cheating, you should reinvigorate yourself and your courage to ensure that they are booted out of power. The same thing, or we should do more than what we did during the Dillon election. When you go vote on October 10, make sure to protect your vote. On December 8, when we voted in Monserrado, people sat down to the polling centers. They never left from there until countings were over. All over, the counting were over. We will sit down to every polling center. We make sure that the votes are counted as they are cast by the people. I want to take the time to reassure the Liberian people the way you will vote, that how they will announce the result. If they vote for JMB, that result will be announced for JMB. If they vote for Shuako Tewonle vote, he will get there, they will call it. Mr. Coming 7% he will get there, or 5% they will call it. Joseph Baka 50+% he will get, they will call it. Nobody will cheat in this election. When you attempt to cheat, you will feel the wrath of the Liberian people. The people will decide on October 10 who they want. And so it should not be of any major concern to us. It should be a concern if we that are going to the elections are not taking the right step to protect our votes. But we will protect our votes. We will do everything. And let me say this to Gibson and Dr. Richardson. I know we can come here and go at each other, but I also want to believe that there is one thing we want in common, that the election should be free, fair, transparent, and credible. That the people should not vote and results are announced the other way like it was done in 1985. Whoever the people vote for, we should ensure that that person is announced. That if you get one vote in 2023 October, that one vote should be counted for you. If we sat there and say, oh, it doesn't concern me, it would be like the story of Dan Trabner for Rat alone. But for us, from the Unity Party in, from all of the parties that are collaborating with us, from all of those that are supporting us. We are working tirelessly to ensure that our votes are protected. In every corner, every single polling center, we will have at least 2 poll washers. And at every precinct, we will have at least a supervisor. There will be no cheating. We know that they are planning, they are stealing government money to perpetuate themselves into power, but you will not be allowed to use the people money against them to perpetuate a system that is rotting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very important that we can highlight those things you just said, that we will discuss more in details. We want to say thank you. Dr. Richardson, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. So we are good. Thank you. Uh,
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Dr.
I'm,
Richardson.
I'm not seeing, I'm not seeing myself on the screen. On the other screen, are you guys seeing me?
How many
Oh,
screen
okay.
you got?
I
We
got
can
two
see you
devices
clear.
here.
You
We
got
can
two
see
Okay,
you
if you guys
clear.
devices.
can see me,
If you got two, can you
one of them
just
I
turn
can
both
see
of them?
myself.
Can you turn both of them
One
off
of them
and
I
just
can
come
see
on
myself.
one?
The other, no, I
If
like
you
having
okay,
both
that's
of them.
fine. I know. Maybe one is
Okay,
connected to ANC chat room. Go ahead.
whatever.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. I gotta laugh. Oh, so I was just gonna comment. I actually, Moali, I really like what you said about having the pool watcher and the supervisor at every precinct. I think all political parties should aspire to do that. But my focus today would be on what I heard Nelson Collette said that Central Monrovia now has water since 2014. Water is such an important part of just anything that we do. We bathe with water, we cook with water, we drink water. And I just wanted to emphasize that, we know that a lot of the diseases, something that Cummings is very concerned about. He would have done a study as to why, what happened since 2014. We have not had water. I understand the water supply was supported by World Bank, so I think that it's a little bit too late and too long. I'm happy that we got water, but it's a little bit too late and too long. It took too long for the water to come to Central Monrovia. So Mr. Cummings will be very interested simply because we know a lot of our diseases in Monrovia, in Liberia, come from, like water related. The typhoid and the malaria, when you have a lot of mosquitoes around, the cholera, all of those things are related to, having bad water. So I'm happy that they got water, but I think it took too long to come. My second thing is that Nelson also reported that the there was traffic in Monrovia because they had ration. I'm hearing echo, that's why I'm stopping a little bit. Okay. Nelson reported that there was traffic in Monrovia because the government was giving like free packaged private food to people who are physically challenged. And I'm just wondering why now. I like the idea that they are doing it. I wish he said that the logistic didn't seem to be organized well in terms of having the physically challenged return home. He said that he saw a lot of them stay on the road and wonder in the rain how are they going to get home. So I think that is something that, again, we should pay a lot of attention to. I think that this should have at least put in some kind of logistical budget in for to take them home. So that's on my mind right now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Mepe?
Yeah. I think Di myself had a similar thing on our mind. I was thinking about the food distribution today. For the handicap community. Anyway, they say it was the 26th relief, hunger relief. And you saw our people there in destitute, flood the streets, struggle to get one bag of rice. It's a half pound, it was a half pound bag. And this gesture we will see a lot more as we go towards the elections. Our people deserve better. No, in these elections, they will not vote just based on small rice and cash that is being handed out now. They will vote their conscience. They will vote for change. I do not think in less than 90 or 99 days, 50 pound or 25 pound bag of rice is going to change anything. Our people are resolved. And I want you to know, Gibson, and all others in the opposition community, that we are more aligned politically than we are different on this platform. We know we come here, we hear the politics, we hear the rhetorics, and say Gibson say will do good for Omen Boyka. Omen Boyka is already good. There's nothing here that will do good for him. He's already in a comfortable lead. And we understand the frustration sometimes that you want to outdo him. He's outpaced you. He's outstepped you. But he has a big tent. One of the things that we've been talking with him since he got here is a simple message. He's the man of reconciliation and inclusion. He's going to bring all of you. Gibson, you have a role to play in the Boyka Lair campaign. The Gonglo people, the Boyka Lair government, the Gonglo people, we see your talents in the judicial era. We will utilize that talent. We know you are credible people. Even in the ANC, the core ANC is more aligned with us than they are aligned with the CDC. Do you think we do not know there are a lot of bright and smart people in the Alternative National Congress? Even in the landowner that is not on here today, we are spotting talents. That's what our political leader wants us to do. Because for him, it's not about unity party. It's an inclusive leader who wants to see the common good of the greater number of Liberians. I want you to know, as I was assured by my political leader, the Honorable Joseph Yima Boyka, in his political mansion, there are many rooms. Rooms for all of you, Gibson. If it weren't so, I will not be telling you today. So let us focus on what the government is not doing. Let us focus on the cash violence and the last minute to time relief that they are giving our people. Let us take them from power, for our country is far better off without them. And let us remember that to attack and to vote against Omen Joseph Boyka is to vote for the CDC because he's the forerunner, he's ahead. You do not want to lock him in the polls. We are far united. We are far aligned politically than any of you will ever be aligned with the CDC. Our political alignment is common to that of Conglo. The ANC, we have political alignment with them.
Thank you. What's on your mind? Then we'll go into it.
So yes, like what I said, the fact that our people today, they were getting free food. Our people, we're now hearing some lawmakers are saying that they have over $100 million LT that they will be spreading into communities. They have mapped up their communities. They say they're going to be spreading it there so that their need remain with the people in the last 2 weeks of voting. Our people
Thank you.
deserve better. If you have this kind of money, you could have used it for development. So let us
Thank you.
recognize our people, not only to vote and protect their vote, but to not be carried away by this last minute to time political gesture.
Thank you very much, Manfred Gono. Thank you a lot. Fagon, before I get to you, I will read these two Bible verses because Manfred said that's St. John chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. And you can just write from that end because you're a religious man. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me.
Mhm.
Verse 2 said, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you,
Mhm.
I go to prepare a place for you. Fagon, what's on your mind?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum
Alaikum
assalam.
salam.
Thank you. You know, you read from the Bible, so I quoted the Quran, so as to balance the fact that Muslims and Christians, Jehovah Witnesses,
You are very talented.
Ekanka, and all these people love JMB, and they always support JMB. And they all have decided that it's time to rescue the nation because it is commanded by the Holy Scriptures. And they understand that in their Father's house is many mansions. But having said that, let me just say what's on my mind. Thank you for the opportunity afforded me, and greetings to the peace-loving people, the Republic of Liberia. I love how Gibson tried to talk about body language. But again, I love Gibson. You guys know I love him to death. But hey, Gibson is thinking about his 4th grade class picture. Take my picture now. Take my picture. Look at me. Look at me. The JMB asked for his photo to be taken. Clearly, you can see it's an action photo where he's moving and somebody unknowingly to him snapped his photo. It wasn't posed for the photo. It wasn't like, Stena, let me take a picture. No. That photo was taken by a paparazzi. So how is he supposed to know he's supposed to live for a left foot, as you saw in the photo, or a right foot, or a head, or a this Gibson? You can't do that. That's a paparazzi photograph that we were trying to talk about. But you want news, the real news, Gibson. That's where I'm getting to fear you the most. Because I'm wondering whether you're really there for Tier 1. The biggest news in the country that even Spoon did a disservice to its people, not to talk about. The biggest news. And yes, I'm criticizing this network for not doing it. It's the fact that Gonglo narrowly escaped death on the day. And I'm challenging you right now on this platform to tell me I'm lying. He narrowly escaped death on the day he went to protest against corruption. They even showed the rocks that they were stoning him with, big, big rocks. They had to escape with him for his life. What if they had killed that illustrious son of our soil? And even you, the Gonglo people, the video speaks for itself. This man escaped for his life. You showing your hand 2 times.
Listen, Gibson, let the man finish, please.
But you didn't bring that news to the Liberian people.
Gibson, let the man finish.
Wanted for Gonglo to die before you talk about his death? A man who has contributed to his country should get killed because he's fighting against corruption, and you don't want to talk about it? It's not news? The woman pick up the rock that they missed Gonglo with big. It's on the video. Why y'all want to kill him? That's not news. The 30 million we see, that the one you want to talk about. You don't want to talk about the 30 million they gave for the stimulus package. That one, our money. You say, when I talk about it, the 30 million, what they say when you take Costa, then we will talk about it, that one more talk about Gibson. Hey, Gibson. Hey, Gibson. Hey, Papa. Yeah, clap for me. Thank you very much. Now, what's on my mind is the Minnesota trip. I cannot believe that people are queuing up in vehicles and driving to Minnesota. Yes, they are going to meet their leader on the weekend. But why so soon? Why are they going ahead of him? I'm confused. I'm really confused about the trip. You understand? But the meeting that disturbed me right now is George Weah, what I will refer to as George Weah deadly handshake. George Weah came here to watch Walker Gaines sat out with Joe Biden. Shook Joe Biden here. Joe Biden went to go address the Navy people. He fell down on stage. George Weah left from here, went to Buchanan. He left Janjek Bagbe. The next day, Janjek Bagbe collapsed. He suffered stroke. George Weah left and went and shake Netanyahu here. He left from there the next day. Netanyahu lay in the hospital. This morning, when Netanyahu went to the hospital, they say he was dehydrated. But now, like today, leaving the hospital with pace on your heart. Joey, are we watching you all? Now, when I said to you on this platform When Zanzan Kawa showed a hand, when men were supposed to meet men, my uncle Zanzan Kawa, you go to him now, you say, Amonio, he will respond. And he will ask you, are you from Blower? Zanzan Kawa is my uncle. When he stretch a hand, when I think Basso man stretch a hand, so we are hold a hand back. But we are shook Joe body hand. Joe body fell down. He shook back hand, Janje back in the hospital. He showed Netanyahu hand. They bring in Netanyahu today from the hospital with peso. When I go to that bro, I will shake we are him. So he can know I'm from Blower. Those are the things that on my mind. I am from Blower. I am the Dane boy. Can't be shaking people's hand. They either lay in the hospital or they fall down or they collapse. No. You need to start that thing going to worst election. So I just telling you now. Look at Gibson Kawaii. I have provided substantive evidence of everything I have said. So if they call for a debate and he go to the debate, when somebody say he want to shake a hand, I don't want to see anybody here complaining. Especially that offensive. Don't bring up psychology inside. Body fell down on the stage after Jawea showed him. Janje collapsed and spent almost 2 weeks in the hospital. Whole side can't move. Netanyahu Jackie from the hospital today. We are not taking those handshakes lightly. I have given my evidence and a debate to it. I respectfully submit. That is what is on my mind.
Who's putting these things up? Can we stop flagging them? If whosoever putting them up. Thank you, Fagon. But I think you were mistaken, Fagon, because maybe sometimes when you come on the show,
I know.
Sometimes when you come on the show and you're hungry, you don't pay attention.
Me, tell the truth, I'm hungry.
No, you just come eating.
Okay,
I'm hungry.
Who hungry right now? Who hungry?
Okay. But Gibson flagged this issue about Tewon Gonglo. Right, Gibson?
No.
Gibson, can you please unmute and tell Fagon? Because we got a clip.
I did twice.
Thank you. Gibson did. And I'm sorry that maybe at that time you were on the phone with Josh. You didn't pay attention. But you're going back to CDC. So
we say we must discuss the thing. You said the man flag it. The man said the media did on disservice, not to toy, but they tell it million. I am saying the whole media did on disservice, including your media.
You interrupting me now.
Not to toy, but they coming to carry the man. You can't help the man. Why you always let it be on Joe? I can't understand you.
So let's go to the Joea issue. Why would you say Joea shake anybody's hand, then the person would die or get sick?
No, I answer with that.
That's that. My man, you free your own. Let me turn now. You interrupt.
But show the picture then now. Show the picture then.
So that's not something I will go into. Though indeed the Israeli Prime Minister, just when Joea left, God punished him because God said you shouldn't have allowed Joea in Israel with everything, especially Jefferson Koji. So therefore, he went into the hospital and they gave him pacemaker. Just when Joea left from there. God told him, say, why would you allow President Joea in this country? And Jefferson Koji and Thomas Fala and Edwin Snow. You allow all these guys there in this country and you know exactly what they're doing to the Liberian people. So I will punish you. And God punished him. But let's get to some serious issue.
Okay, how about Jaje Una?
I mean, right, let's get to some serious issue. What's on my mind, seriously, folks? Let me ask you guys. What would your thought on the Hans Bashu, the late Hans Bashu seat? This is, I'm thinking about this that Rich is saying. Maybe Mo Adi will help us. Hans Bashu, a very, very strong, formidable force when it comes to Liberty Party. He passed away almost a week now. To the family, our condolences. But then what become of that seat? Can Liberty Party feel a candidate? Did he go in as an independent? Is the seat just a seat? So UP don't have no candidate, Liberty Party has no candidate. What's the story here? That is on my mind. I'm thinking about it because then there's a possibility in Grand Bassa, CDC will take that seat. It's a possibility in Grand Bassa, CDC will win that seat. So I want to ask Mo Ali, I mean, what's the game plan here from the opposition? Are they just going to sit there, or according to the NEC guidelines and laws, what can the party do? That's my first thing on my mind. The next thing on my mind is what Mo Ali said. I am not optimistic, Gibson. I am not. When it comes to this election, I think and I do believe people will use the resources, not the guns, not the bullets, but the resources to manipulate this election, Kipsy. Mo Ali talk about poll washers, right? If you have poll washers, I don't know how many of them you need, 2,000 some more. But if your poll washers are sleeping, if
For
your
pool
poll
washers
washers,
alone, you need almost you need around almost 13,000 pool washers.
thank you. So let's just agree. If your poll washers are sleeping, Gibson, and your poll washer just, waiting to take anything from the opposition party, whether CDC or UP or whatever the case may be, I want us to really explain to the Liberian people that the scary issue here, because if your poll washer are caught sleeping, you lose that district or you lose that county. So this is, I'm troubled by it. I am troubled. And I hope opposition have something, the game plan, and it will come down to money, Gibson. It will come down to money. Money will be the issue here. So it's on my mind likewise. And I'll wait for the video where Akaris Mose Gray completed the district number 8 intellectual center, and the video where Eugene Lane Nagbe said he got a recording on Joseph Yema Boyka. Once we have those clips ready, we'll discuss it again. To all my fellow Liberians, my 26 on y'all, I got to squeeze this thing in. Please get my 26. I first to ask you, remember, I'm asking you my 26 on you. Mo Ali, two things in front of you. I want to bring you in. Hans Bashu, the late Hans Bashu seat, and that of the poor washer thing. Talk to us, please.
Labrin po y'all go take back. He put 26 on y'all go take back quick and scrub yourself.
Yeah, so to be honest, on the Hens Bashu issue, I would think by now, because Hens Bashu was going to be a Unity Party candidate, or he was registered as a Unity Party candidate. I would think by now our legal team is working on to know what are the remedies, because I haven't done research on it, and to say anything here, I'll be lying. I don't know what can happen in that kind of instance as to whether the elections commission will allow the party in question to replace the candidate. I don't know whether the laws provide for that or not. So I will leave that to the lawyers, and I'll leave that to our legal team to do the research. I'll get in touch with them. Well, it's bad on my part that I have not got in touch with them so that we can understand what's happening. On the issue of the pool washing, is something that we need to take extremely seriously, because if you don't do that, Liberian elections, they play the poke and vote that they can cheat you. If you don't have pool washers there, if you don't have observers, particularly in the remotest parts of the country, they can easily switch numbers there. They can assign numbers. They can take ballot papers and mark them and just correct people's names. And you have absolutely no way of verifying how many persons went to vote or not. So whatever numbers they will assign you or your political party, if you don't have a poll washer to the particular place, is what you're going to accept. So we need, there are 5,911 polling centers. A political party NEC makes provision for 2 poll washers at every polling center. One person is in at the time, and maybe that person is tired, they want to come walk around, or they want to use the restroom, or can find food to eat. They come out and another person goes in. So you need 5,911 times 2. But also you have 2,000 to 5,911 in 2,080 polling precincts. So for each precinct, you need an observer. That observer is there or supervisor to supervise the work of the poll washers. And that observer will also be responsible to collect the tally sheets and transmit your results to your tally room. And so you have 2,080 supervisors, and you have pretty close to uh, 13,000 pool washers. We're talking about almost 15,000 persons that we will need. And if, as opposition parties, if our aim is to replace or remove the weird government, those are places that we can collaborate on. Because if each political party, if each presidential candidate has one pool washer in the room at the time, you notice that you're going to have 20 pool washers for presidential candidates alone. 20 at every polling center at a time in the room. And in that same room, you're going to have, if the representative candidates, the ones that are independent and senatorial candidates, decide also to have pool washers, you may have the room overcrowded with just pool washers. So if we are not fighting too much, every day we come here for to or jump on JMB, it will be good for us to collaborate just on that one issue, except if an opposition candidate says that, you know, we don't care whether the election is
Thank
credible
you,
or
Mo.
not. But if we do care, we don't need to flood the polling
Mo,
centers.
Mo, please let me ask you.
Yeah,
It's expensive business for you to pay pool washers, correct?
extremely expensive.
How
By
how
my
much? How much you think
so by
per
by my calculation,
person? Yeah.
by my calculation, if you want to have your pool washers committed, forget about all that thing people will say, oh, you know, the we will volunteer and all those things, do your budget. By my calculation, if you were budgeting at least $75, 50 or $75 per pool washer, and that will include their feeding and everything. So you're talking about maybe 50 multiplied by 5,911 times two. And if you just give me a little chance, that is a huge number. So basically, you will be talking about pretty close to 700 to $800,000 around there.
Wow.
Yeah,
For the entire country.
yeah, for the entire country. If you want to cover all
Thank
of
you.
the 5,911 polling centers.
Thank you. Gibson, let me bring you in, Gibson. The Gonglo, I just so much concerned about this pool washer thing because that's where the magic take place. That's where people swish and swipe. I just so much concern, Gibson. I mean, talk to us
Oh
from your
yeah.
camp.
Oh yes. First of all, uh, I can't make a comment without saying this to somebody. I just forgot his name, who said I'm very fine today, but you're wondering what I'm using somebody else's face. So thank you for saying I'm fine today, but I'm not using somebody's face. I think Mefek agreed I'm fine today. Okay, so
You
Stanton,
always speak on Mepe. I told you, man.
she's
You gotta slow down, bro.
I
Wow.
agree. I agree. I will listen to you. But every other thing, but that's why I will listen to you. No problem. You see, first of all, I will tell you first what I and my wife are doing in Grand Jita and what we intend to do. We don't have a lot of money. There are almost 115 or 114 polling centers in Grand Jede, and we have put aside at least $50 to intervene for each pool washer to go to the precinct. That is different from what the LPP is doing and the Gonglo movement is doing. So I believe that Grand Jede is going to be covered to a large extent, if not completely. But yeah, Mo is
Hold on a
right.
minute. Is it allowed though? Maybe if I
Oh,
go
yeah.
and help us when we go to it, is it allowed? Can somebody
It's
say, you
allowed.
know what, I volunteer to just, or
It's allowed.
you
It's
must
allowed.
register them?
I'm a Liberian, so I can sponsor the pool watcher. But they will go
Okay.
through the party. The party will present them as watchers. I'm not going
Okay.
to take my own pool watcher yet, but you're gonna be responsible. So that is how serious this is to me, because I intend to make sure that Grand Jede diminishes George Weah vote, because he is very ungrateful to not just to Grand Jede but to Liberians who have entrusted him with state power, and he abused the trust and confidence they repose in him. But Mo is right. Pool washer, they are very expensive. Even the $50 I'm talking about is just for us as a fund, as a person. But $75, $100 for pool washer to be able to sit there from in the morning until the pool closes. Then you're talking about people getting on motorbike to go to another place to watch. For instance, somebody coming from Zwedru and going all the way to Solo Town, or all the way to Bianquinum, or to Twabo. You can't tell a message go and walk there. You got to provide the transportation on motorbike to go all the way there, and then provide bed down for him to stay there. So the $50 is just, and more idea is very right. There'll be hundreds of thousands of dollars that will be put forward from the different political institutions. Well, the government has money. They can go to the finance ministry, and then Samuel Twe can honor write a check that they can pay all their pool washers. And then those people will be protecting government interests. And if we don't, as an opposition, like at the end of the day, we have one person to go against George Weah. We should put our resources together to make sure that we match up government pool washers, so that they will not go and manipulate numbers. And that's exactly what they've been doing over the years. I believe they did that in Lofa County and screwed the women out there. There were no pool washers available for the United Party everywhere. And so the CDC mayor, they took advantage of that. Who knows whatever happened? God forbid. I mean, God, they did what they wanted to do. So yes, pool washing for the Liberian People's Party and the Gonglo movement is very, very huge.
So let me ask you a question before we bring in Fagon. You have 17 electoral districts in Montserrat. Before we bring in Fagon, Mapel is hosting one day, then she can do the schedule. Gibson, 17 electoral district, right? Can we just understand that Mo Ali said probably 50 or $75? You say, well, you're going to pay your own people then to stand by and watch. If it is accepted though, so you're looking at 17.
They're not coming from me. These people, the list is going to be drawn up by a 27 diametrically established zones in Grand Jede from the Gonglo movement and the LPP. You have 27 people that spread out into their leaders. So they are going to pull people from these areas, and the number of people that we need that we can be able to sponsor, we are put at like 3,800. That's what we are targeting right now.
So from that group, you're sponsoring some of them?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fagon, talk to me. Fagon, I know you are concerned about this pool washer thing, but somebody just sent me the text message. Says, Stanton, pool washer, no pool washer, we're coming outside. We'll not leave that in our community. We're not leaving till the final vote is cast, and we'll get a result. What say you, Fagon?
Well, let's start with what Gibson says. And that can be found in Article 82, straightforward, and I quote, any citizen or citizen being of Liberian nationality or origin, as in the case of Gibson, shall have the right to contribute to the funds or election expenses of any political party or candidate. So he possessed that right as a Liberian citizen. And before I go to that issue, I wanted to ask Mo, was Hens Bashu running as an independent, or Was he running as a member? Was
Independent.
he registered? Okay, if he was registered as an independent, then I agree with Mo that they have to look at the legal groupings to make that decision. And the reason why I say so, if he registered as a Unity Party candidate or as a Liberty Party candidate, then our reliance would have been on Article 77 of the Constitution that says, and I quote, since the essence of democracy is free competition of ideas expressed by political parties and political groups as well as by individuals, parties may freely be established to advocate the political opinions of the people. So on the other side, it says laws, regulations, decrees, or measures which might have the effect of creating a one-party state shall be declared unconstitutional. So in this case, it was not the party, it was the individual. And the individual, unfortunately, passed. On the issue of poll watchers, it was not the Unity Party and her supporters to include, or her alliance, to include the Gonglo people and stuff like that. They are all members of JMB team. It was not JMB that took the $30 million for the stimulus package. It was not JMB that gave $11 million for rice that never came to the country. It was not JMB that printed this $64 million new banknotes that should have replaced the mutilated banknotes. It was not JMB that cut people's salary down to $45 from $150. It was not JMB that took the people Firestone money, pension pay, which was $82, and reduced it to $19. So again, I'm saying all these things because JMB will look up to people, all of those who support him, like the idea that Gibson is bringing, to be able to adopt pool watchers. Why it's true that JMB will take on the mantle of doing his best, it will require somebody in America who will say, or in Europe or Asia, who will say, y'all give me my 10. I got my 500. I want 10 pool washers, and I'm sending my money for that. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people say, oh, JMB is a candidate that will take on the widow's mite. Everywhere JMB go, the people who bring their $10, their $5, they are not the ones with the 30 million. So whatever they give will go towards the rescue of our country. And the Liberian people are determined to make that sacrifice to protect their votes in their counties, in their districts, in their villages, in their townships. But I can tell you this, maybe in the future, we might have to consider, as Mo said, can you imagine, Stanton, we have 20 presidential aspirants. They have all been registered, but not, I repeat, not certificated. We expect that they will drive fast to go back home because they're not qualified. But the other 15 means you calculate that times the number of precincts and see whether we'll not have an overcrowded room. The question here is this: who are those willing to sit down to the table and say, you know what, Gonglo and Gibson Jeru sit down to one table, JMB Mo Ali, you sit down. How do we do it? You are strong in Lofa. Can you watch? So instead of us putting 20 persons in one room, it would be the same. We may as well put 10. We can cut down our costs. And the 10 would be representative across those of us that have the same common interests. And I think to avoid the extraordinary expenses, that will have to happen, in my opinion. Or else, like everybody say, election time, that when you will see the rare new banknotes flying for you, and the CDC is the one in control, except that after the elections, they will be held to account as to why the purpose of the money was not achieved, and that is to replace the mutilated banknotes. Instead, they left the mutilated banknotes in circulation and flooded the market with a new banknote, which amounts to economic sabotage, a crime that is gravely punished for up to 50 years.
Thank you very much, Fagon. We're going to bring in our sister, Mepet. Mepet, please, before you come in, let me say this. Hence, Bashir independent. Uh, the party cannot argue that more. We get the information. Liberty Party, he was not on the Liberty Party or Unity Party. They cannot argue. Uh, the way forward now is that the other political party, at least they are not breathing some air that hence Bashir is off, and therefore they think they can win. But there's a spin to this. There's a spin to this. And after Mepe, we'll go further about this hands Bashir thing because it's very, very important we discuss it. Our sister Cole,
Yes.
go
Thank,
ahead.
thank you, CEO. Well, on this washing issue is very important. And like Brother Gibson said, we have a lot of people who have started to come forward. I've seen some people who have said, we're from Bond County, we're going to adopt 4 centers in Bond. So people are coming here to support this effort. That is why we are about to have the Protect Your Vote rally for GNB. Is slated for August 5th. There is subject to change, but we are going to have that rally, the Protect Your Votes rally, the dollar rally, all of those to bring resources together to protect the votes. We know we are the people's movement. We do not have the luxury of state resources, but we have commitment. There are people who are waiting to come out there free of charge, stay there, supervise the polls. Even though we know there will be some people who will do it for free, but we still, yes, do have to calculate the cost. And that's why when I talk about political alignment and the fact that we can work together under this big tent, this is where it comes in. You know, usually when the votes are counted in the center, they have the signature of the 2 top contenders. Then it's posted out. We want to make sure that we are able to collaborate in areas of strength. If we identify, I have been hearing news that the Conglos are doing very well in Swedru. I don't know if because Gibson is connected, but I've been hearing that. So we know that that is a place to collaborate with them because and we are, like I said, more aligned than they can ever be aligned with the CDC, in these elections. So we can see the need to collaborate. All of the opposition parties here are aligned. We are aligned with the ANC on many levels, and we can find places of strength when it comes to the ANC. We know those people, we know those places, we know some of the county chairs, and we know their leadership, all in the interest of changing this government. And we can be able to pull those human resources together as well as financial ones. But it is important, not just the money for the pool washers, but let me tell you, lightning. You in those buildings, you don't have control over light. Election Commission does. We need Chinese light for the people. Maybe time to do the tabulation, the light may go off. Do our pool washers have those Chinese lights that they can turn on right away and make sure the votes are counted? Imagine if you had lights with the UP, ANC, the Taiwan party, the London. So that's a lot of lighting right there to count. So we need things that lightening foods beside the compensation, because some people you get in the $50, they will keep it, because people have competing priorities. We still have to carry food out there physically to support them on that day. They say it's not always who vote, it's who counts the vote. But within this time, this is why again I'm telling you the big 10 is available. We are going to lead those efforts to make sure we work together as an opposition and change this government. Remember, the old man has said it. This is the place for all Liberians, not just for unity parties. And we have one objective: to not do it for JNB, do it for the people of Liberia. So we are going to collaborate across party lines. The partisans on the ground, they don't care about where Kwawu come and say here, how she lash at the ANC. They don't care whether Fagon come and say something about Conclo. Those people have one objective: is to unseat this government. And none of us on this platform can stop the political migration You will see when that time comes. So we are a united front as much as we have to debate our politics here. And I show in terms of pool washing, the electoral, protecting our people against electoral violence, we're all going to be united on those fronts. So thank you. That's my
Thank you.
contribution on the pool washing.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Can we hear from you from the ANC CPP camp?
Well, I think Mr. Flacon is making some kind of wish on my computer today that I keep on going. I usually don't have any computer problems, but I think he's doing that.
Picture, we have picture from behind you. That the place
Yeah,
people falling
move
down
from
from.
here. Don't even start with that other one there today. So I wanted to just say that I'm in agreement with what everyone is saying about poll watching. I hope that the collaborating parties, including plus Unity Party, can come together and develop some sort of system where they can do the poll watching. I know it's very expensive. It's very expensive, as Moali already calculated the number here. But even in addition to that number, I think people need to be trained. People need to have an orientation to tell them what is expected of the poll washer and what is not expected. I believe there's laws that are relating to poll watching. We need to have someone from the legal department that come on and just kind of help educate people, like, okay, you can't just go grab the ballot box to look inside of the box, how they're supposed to behave. So short of that, those are my thoughts. I know that CPP is on top of it. They are doing many, many things right now to engage people to wash polls for them. Maybe there'll be people volunteering, and then there'll be people who, will be a pay position. Secondly, I think there'll be a huge amount of Liberians that will be living here that already have registered that will be in Liberia. So some of them also need to know, what is expected of them as pool washer as well.
Dr. Richardson, thank you. Let me go back to the pool washer thing because this is where the trouble comes in. And folks, I hope we can all understand that. Do you think Fagon or Mo Ali, for the neighborhoods, the community, chairman, folks from the neighborhood can come up and say, listen, I'm not going to bed. I'm going to watch. I want to see. Can you talk to us, just to bring up the community to speed? Can they do that though?
Yeah.
Well,
This is
go ahead,
something
Mo,
we
because
this is something we observe on December 8, 2020, particularly in Monserrado. There were places where people sat down and said, after voting, they say we will remain here until the counting is done. And those journalists who were around going live, you actually see the people standing all through the window and they were very curious. And as they were counting the votes, people had their pens and their papers marking for their candidates. When those kind of things happen, you in there, you cannot think about changing result because you know that the pool washers that are in there, they get backers outside. But when the place is left vulnerable and you have just one pitiful pool washer sitting somewhere, that person becomes vulnerable to attacks. That person becomes even vulnerable to bribery. There are some candidates who have financial might. They go around to see if they go around actually testing some of the pool washers when counting is going on or when they are about to count. And Dr. Dr. Richardson strike a very important point. So the amount we're talking about, that's just for payment that we include feeding and transportation for pool washers. That doesn't include training for them. Because going to sit in there as a pool washer is one thing, and understanding what you're looking for is a whole different thing. You can be pool washer and you're not trained, you sit down, read order the cheap, you will not understand what's going on. There are technical people who understand all of these things. They need to train these people. So if you're talking about 15,000 persons, all of them need to be trained, and the training needs to be decentralized. You will not take people from the southeast and bring them to Monrovia. You will not take people from Nema and bring them to Monrovia. So, I mean, if you want to do good pool washing, if you really want to protect your vote, you're talking about at least $1 million. $1 million.
Thank you. Fago, you want to add something?
Yes, more questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to basically say
And I want to
it
add
is the
something
right
too.
of the people to protect their votes. The danger involved with that sometimes can be you have these rowdy individuals, some of our disadvantaged brothers, who might be paid by the ruling establishment when they know that, like in the case where JMB got 98% of the vote in Lofa, they know, you know, when you used to play football before, they're leading you 8-0, then instead of getting confusion and chakra, the whole pool and all those kind of things. We don't want that to happen. But I can assure you there will be people at every polling center waiting for the results to come outside. It becomes tricky when people in the hall, after counting, the observers will be around. And then they come up and say, oh no, this number, that number. The reason why usually you see people standing outside is because during our last elections, they found election boxes in the river, in the water and all, along the highway. And we had those videos. So this time around, before you close the box to say you're leaving, everybody leaving our room will say we got our results. And you know, everybody have to sign on it. Once that happens, the next thing we have to look at is this. I worked in the government before, and I was one member of the opposition. When they started announcing the results, I'm not going to call name here, but there was certain individual who they connected to several radio stations, and this individual was announcing results of his own. And before you realize it was so overwhelming, everybody gave up. So again, everybody will have the war room, Stanton. You are supposed to send your results to the war room, and the war room is supposed to put it out there to your supporters or whatsoever. That's another form of training that needs to take place in the country. Because what we saw December 8th, if it repeats itself, you will have chaos. You cannot just get out and say, call 100,000, whatever, call 100,000, call it. There's somebody on the radio saying, so Kennedy, 100,000 votes. We don't want to see that. So again, institutions will have to be trained, but the people will guide their votes. And yes, the people will come out. They will stand to those places until that people come out and say, this is what we got out of this precinct. And that will be another form of actual citizens security network for their ballots.
Dr. Richardson, I know you coming in. Let me ask you this. You have any fear? You think there will be election rigging? You think there will be cheating?
Yes. Historically in developing countries, cheating, rigging the election is a common thing. So this is why we need poll washer. We need, people to protect the votes. I believe that this government in particular have the money, the resources. One of my fear is they could put ballots in a box before, in their favor before anybody get to see it. That's one of my fear.
Oh,
let me make a
comment. Come in real quick, and we'll come to you, Gibson.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, what she's saying is true, and that's why we talk about training these people to make sure that before the voting starts, the box is inspected and that it is empty, because you will see that. And that's why I talk about it light in a collaboration with the parties, right? So say we are the polling station, I'm representing the Unity Party. Tyler Richardson is representing the ANC. When I go to the bathroom, I'm comfortable because she's there as an opposition. And I know that she will not be compromised. Because if she can be compromised, then, the votes are compromised. So we have to vet those people that we have there across party lines, train them, motivate them and talk to them. I tell you something, during the voter registration, we saw the people stand up for themselves. In many scenarios, there were people on the line who were talking to those younger ones. You 18, go call your parents. People started to look out. We must be able to, encourage our people to ensure that we have credible elections. Because you know why? Our people only copy the negative things. Some people heard that in Sierra Leone, the election was rigged. There was a one round. So now all you hear in Liberia, from sedition will be one round or jealous Sierra Leone. Jealous Sierra Leone, you know what about the in Sierra Leone? That meant there's so many things in Sierra Leone that you could even help to cover her cheating. Things that you guys did not do. So we must be able to collaborate. We must be able to empower our people with knowledge so that they themselves can stand out. Because once the people are vigilant and the people are prepared, people will know. For example, me, I spent most of the time here. I went to register to vote. I was in the line. People started asking questions in the martial area because you know what? I've never voted at that polling station before. People started whispering. She from a place here. People just coming to the prison here. I had to tell them, say, listen, I own a property in this district. I can vote in this district. Because my traditional voting district is Kennedy, where the CDC leadership votes. But I didn't want to be bothered with plenty of government people that day. So I just wanted somewhere where the queues would be empty without a lot of security scrutiny. But at the end of the day, we must tell our people that when you see people who do not live there, when you see strange activities, report it. We must make sure. Another thing we talk about being equipped, that our pool washers have smartphones, phones that can take pictures, that they are able to take pictures of those sheets. You know, especially with a lot of political parties on the ballot, this is what they were going to do. They're going to say maybe they will take the top two in that area. But if I'm in an area and they tell me, say, the top two in this area was the CDC and the ANC, I still would take a picture of that because I don't want someone to use that and be able to fill in other places. So I would be able to tell the Unity Party war room that in this area, um, ANC got 100 votes, CDC got 80 votes. We got 60. We're not the top two. I don't have the tally sheet, but this is the vote count there. So we need those kind of collaboration. It's hugely dependent on the training that we can give those people. Also, how they paying. I've heard some people say that those pool washers with the CDC will be giving $100 a person. But the way more I lead now to about $75, they more carry those boys money up to maybe 200. So we have to
Thank you.
train our people.
Thank you. Gibson, come in, Gibson.
You
Gibson,
know,
before you do that, real quick though, Gibson, a lot of receiving text back and forth. People are concerned in a way that the ruling establishment have a different kind of game plan of winning this election. What are you hearing out there on the street?
okay, I will give you three scenarios that we should be very mindful of. Recently, I sent some of my boys in the southeast, some journalists, to give me some statistics. I hope those statistics are correct. In Grand Jeddah County, UP had less than 5 pool washers. ANC have 2 pool washers. In Sando County, UP has 7 pool washers, ANC 0. Maryland County, ANC have 4 pool washers, UP 2 pool washers. River G, 2 pool washers for UP, 0 for ANC. I'm not sure if these figures are completely correct. I'm not sure. The real danger is not in Monrovia. The real danger is not in Grand Bassa County. The contending counties will definitely have a competitive number of pool washers from the various parties. The leeward counties are additions of votes that can carry any political or any candidate up. And this is where the concentration should be. Grand Jeddah, Maryland, Sando, River G, Cape Mount, Bapolo County, Lofa County. We saw recently in Lofa County what happened. It doesn't mean that the maybe Unity Party was not paying attention, but maybe somebody and guess what? The ruling party does not have to have a pool washer in certain area. The people who are working as election magistrates and election registrars, they are indirectly in the interest of the ruling party because they maintain their job if the ruling party wins. So I always have a suspicion that the pool washers, I mean the magistrates and the registrars may likely turn any vote around if there's no pool washer for any of the opposition parties. Let's say, for example, in Kunabo district, Unde George we alone have pool washers, 2 pool washers, 3 pool washers. What would the magistrate do? He calculate the votes and give it to George Weah. And in fact, in the grand jury legislative election, my understanding was one of the magistrates manipulated the numbers against one of the candidates who was seditious. So those are information that we are receiving. So for me, I'm making my complete thorough investigation as to how the pool washer thing can affect the vote outcome. And the ruling party has a lot of leeway. They got money, they got all the strength, they got all the power, they got everything to make sure they spread their tentacles in the leeward counties. And when they start to collect the leeward county, when they begin to announce them, we will have nothing to offer because we didn't send pool washer. So we need to mobilize our resources. This is not about whether JMB or Gonglo or all the oppositions. If one person is in that race, and we have to support that person to kick Joshua out and give him a lesson that others will next time not be ungrateful to the Liberian people. We and make sure that the leeward counties are actually washed with our.
Thank you. Let me bring in Mo Ali, because Mo, this is concerning a lot of people. The fear. I heard today, if it is true, Mo, I want you to help me before you run, because I know you got to pick up something real quick. The game plan of CDC, what will be your message out there? At the end of the day, we are hearing that person, we are saying in his grave, they will do everything possible to win this election. What are your concerns, Mo Ali? Why is this Unity Party, the rescue team, their concern? What the game plan in place that there will be no cheating, no mismanagement of votes? It should be a clear, transparent, free, fair election.
Well, we've heard those things several times over the last few weeks, and I know those are some of the information that Dr. Richardson even depended to say there will be cheating. The only game plan we can have is what we are discussing. In addition to even thinking about manipulating results or numbers at polling centers, the other information I got yesterday was what Fagon talked about. So if they realize that this place is not their stronghold and the counting is going on and they are not winning there, they are being won bigly, they intend to send people to disrupt there. So they say, oh, the Aula polling center, and then in confusion, let's, how they can say, table that result yet. And on the other aspect, Jerome strike a very key point. Gibson Jerome strike a very key point. I don't worry much about the cities. Whenever we talk about the pool washer, everybody say, oh, we'll be pool washer. Most people just want to sit down around Morovia. Let me tell you, nobody going to cheat in Morovia. Nobody going to think about manipulating results in Ganta, in Banga, in Buchanan, because they will get international observers. Everybody's eyes will be there. When you are going against someone, you need to ensure that your pool washing activity is the strongest in the person, quote unquote, stronghold. So, for example, we need to be very vigilant in the southeast. If you don't do that, the people inflate results. Everybody will just sit and say, yeah, but are the main stronghold. For example, CDC go inflate results in Nuclear Town. Nobody will argue against it, because traditionally they've been winning there. If they inflate result in West Point, nobody will argue it, because traditionally they've been winning there. So our game plan has to change, and it has to change very drastically. On the issue of the observer thing, well, Gibson, his people were doing independent assessment. We would take that and see how best we can improve, because we were being told that observers were deployed all over the place. And one of the results we got from that was the issue of Grenjida, for example. There was this dramatic increase in the population census for Grenjida. Grenjida came from being the 8th largest county or 9th to jumping over Cape Mount that had traditionally been behind the 6th county. But then there was 73% increment in Grenjida's population from the population census result. During the voter registration period, they got the least increment, 566, pretty much less than 1% or 1%. How that happened, the laziest need to explain something. But I agree with Gibson. If we must turn this thing around, we need to focus our attention on places that are stronghold or quote unquote stronghold of your opponent. And that's why it is important to raise the necessary funds for these things. So pool washing we entail the money for payment, the training for those pool washers and all those kind of stuff. So when we're talking about buying tents or you're the third thing, when we're talking about sponsoring pool washing, when somebody say I want to sponsor 2-3 pooling centers or prisons, let's first begin to list those prisons that are in the rural area, the hard to reach areas. When you get those ones covered, the cities will cover themselves. The ordinary people will do that.
Thank you very much, Mo Ali, and we'll see you tomorrow on the show. I know you're trying
and
to.
journalists too.
So,
And journalists
thank you very much.
that can always follow through.
Let me bring in Fagon. Fagon, you are hearing the conversation. You're falling through, though. A lot of folks are very concerned about everything that CDC is doing. Like Kou said today, the distributing halfback arrest to the handicap group of 77 and saying for your Christmas. Last week we learned Dr. George Manawia took motorbike in Nimba County, giving it to students, 18, 19 years old students. Something that never happened before in Maryland. The police department got nothing, but they took 31 motorbikes, and a pickup truck, giving it to folks. Talk to us, the concern that these guys are working, and the opposition, that's what we have in a choir program tonight. The opposition unity, you cannot see it, but CDC is doing something. They're giving to the people. Would that transform the minds of the Liberian people?
Not at all. Here is the thing. You have to understand in the mid, the 30 million for the stimulus package. What happened to it? What happened to the 11 million that you busted your vein right here for them to bring rice into the country? What happened to that 11 million? What happened to the people $150 that they cut from their paycheck instead of giving them $45? What happened to the Firestone people who are retired? Each one of them making $82. Government took it over and said Firestone should get the money to them. What happened to that money? What happened? The rice you see them dividing. I think it would be fair to ask them what happened to the rice the Japanese government just gave. It is the rice that they gave for the country that Mr. We are taking it. So it says here, what you been giving the disadvantaged people, what you been giving our brothers that are not physical, that have the physical challenge. What have you been doing? 6 years. That today you're bringing everything also. So if you say, maybe, like the right way you put it, you think our people, no. If you say Allah, go ask Simon Freeman. Go ask Robert Salif. Go ask people that have really Kennedy Sandy. Go ask them. Go ask Ellis Cummings, who brought in 450 motorbikes. Go and ask Hassan Belati that my Ellen passed you to give 50 pickup trucks to Liberty Party. Liberians are the kind of people that will read you for the 6 years. If you don't deliver, you bring it, they will eat it, and they will eat it free. Nothing will come out of it. the disadvantaged and physically challenged people on Lee Street. When was the last time you saw Jawia Divine rest there? So that today rest now will be them vote for Jawia. The Nima County, they took the $9 million from Asila Mito. That because you carry 35 motorbikes, each of them costing $600. Every 10 is 6,000. Another 10 is 6,000. So you spend less than 20,000 to get a motorbike. You bought one pickup for 35,000. So you spend 55,000. If you have that 9 million, you know how much change you will be left with? 8,950,000 US dollar. Where's the money? It's like the people who money you caught. The reason why they don't make that silly argument about tuition-free university, the president admitted to cutting 15,000 Liberian people money. He cut it and brought it down to $45. So I asked the university students, how much for one course? They say $5. 5 times 4, you do 4 courses or 5? They say 5. I say, okay. So $25 per semester. 3 semesters are what? $75. If, Stanton, you were sending your children to school, $75 for the year for a university student, plus other fees, increase it to $100. But this man took $100 from your paycheck. Over a year term, that's $1,200. So take the $100 that you pay for your university student. He still owe the parents of those people $1,100 US. That's why he and Samuel 12:8. So Liberian people have done their calculation. Since you printed the money, you brought it. You people have not taken back the mutilated bank loans. So what do you think will happen? Anything Jawia put us out right now, they will eat it free. And I can tell you, President, we are losing Grand Jida County. I can tell you that. The young people in Grand Jida, we're not waiting for him. They want him to come and show over the last 6 years. They are challenging him to show what he has done in Grand Jida. And if that challenge holds, then we are finished. He cannot win.
Let me help you, Dr. Richardson. Since we are not many, let's just enjoy this for the next 30 minutes. Let me stick with Fagon a little bit. Fagon, now we're going by county. These guys, they are distributing greatly. They are spending money, a lot of money. Let's do it by county. I'll start with
my county because I gotta go. Start with my county.
Let's start with your county.
Bommy. Tell these people not to put the BB truck on the road with 55 tons of iron ore in the truck, including the truck weight. We said, don't do it. Snowden said they should do it. They've destroyed our road. The bombing road, as we speak, is cut. You see that offensive? Who can agree with me? Shaking her head. It's cut into 3 different places. The road has cut into 3 different places. Yet, they did it against the will of the bombing people. When it was time to get the people bombing money, you were right here. They wept it. Then they turned around, the 14 million the company were owing, they waived it. Time for the people to hire bombing citizens, they said they're going to court. We took them to court, the court pushed her around. So tell me, so we are carrying 1 million, the balance 13 million will be waiting for it. Now 1 million out of our 14 million. We told the people not to ride on our road. They posted they get 1.5 million to repair the road. If he carry 500,000, balance will be what? 1 million. So anything they do, that free money will either free and nothing will count out of it. Bomi County will vote against him, take it to the bank, deposit it, bring the slip back to me. He's not going to win Bomi. He's not going to win Cape Mount. He's not going to win back.
Fagon, I'll hold you right there. Fagon, let me hold you right there. Bombing, Edwin Snow. Bombing, Edwin Snow is what? The chief strategist right now for CDC. He is now doing his thing. Edwin Snow, you follow Edwin Snow. You know how he won Bombing County. How he beat Sandro Johnson.
That's Sandro Johnson beat.
Who he beat?
Taro.
Thank you. But here's the thing, though. Thanks for the correction. Fagon, at the end of the day, don't you think Snow can deliver bombing to George Weah?
No way. Even Snow is saying, you know why he talking plenty? Snow is not talking plenty because it's Snow open his mouth. I'm telling you, Snow is my brother, and I know what's going on in the country. Snow, just relax now. Snow open his mouth in bombing to say it means yaba yaba. Brother, it's $14 million that Snow get away. Then Snow turn around the 1.5 million for the road. Nobody know what happened. Vanny Saki went on the road. Watch the video. The road destroyed. All our road.
Wait. You said Snow. Sorry. You said Snow didn't beat Sandra Johnson.
Snow beat Tyler and Snow. We the one win.
Most recently.
Snow
Most recently, who he was running against?
Who?
Snow.
Not Tyler, eh?
When Sandra Johnson left, when he left the race.
Sandra Johnson left ever since. You know, let me show you how you can remember this. You remember when John Weah went to Bumi and said, don't mind Snow say I gave him rest. Then I was in an election, bro.
I know you were. You're also
what is that for Tyler? Not knowing the man on our hand was supporting his man Snow. Why you think Tyler is not in CDC today? They supported Snow to beat Tyler. I can confirm. They supported Snow to beat Tyler. That's how desperate.
So you are putting this on. You are putting this on Snow that Snow cannot. So are you saying to the?
But Snow not running again.
No. I'm not talking about Snow running. But don't you think that Snow will remain with CDC? To
do what? The place Snow as
to campaign for them.
Snow forced to identify with CDC, and here is why Snow forced to identify with CDC. Stanton, there is something about politics you got to understand is very wicked and vindictive. $14 million waived, $1.5 million for the road gone, the road damage. If you don't go with CDC and CDC decide, look, that $14 million you waived, the negotiation you got involved with, we are going to start bringing you to drag you around. Snow does not want that. But Snow going in the villages and telling the poor, I was trying to try, but y'all know, me, I would just be walking behind there, but y'all know what to do. It's the same thing that carried Tyler. Snow is going to play that same game with CDC, trust me. Because damn if you do, damn if you don't. And I'm telling you now, in the county, what the people know now, if Snow slip, it finish. Because everything about bombing is destroyed right now. The roads, the wow, everything destroyed. And they put Snow at the center of it. So to protect a big mansion, he still need ERU and all the people there. Snow will stay with the ruling party for now. Until the heat becomes a fire, then we'll know what put water in coconut.
Thank you very much. Again, I'll hold that. Although Sandra Johnson was in the race also on that day, Snow beat them. I just want to be very, very correct.
Right, you were there.
Yeah, Sandra Johnson was in the race too. So when I say he beat Sandra Johnson, I was also correct.
Yeah, you're correct. But I just tell you, I want for you to focus on.
I know you want to pick on CDC. Dr. Richardson, help us understand. Bombing. Fagon said no. Snow is not. Snow cannot deliver bombing. Can you tell me where you find CDC or county you think CDC can win freely? We're going to wrap up on this because, folks got to travel. Mempe got to travel, and you call him Mo Ali is traveling. I don't know where Fagon going, wherever he's going. But again, we should wrap up this. It's 6:14, 10:14 in Liberia. And I know, Gibson, are you going to Minnesota too? To go meet JMB?
I want to go ask him some questions. I don't know they were allowed in the hall.
But you can go ahead, Gibson.
Wait, Mempe is answering for me. You see? It's not me talking this time. So
so to answer your question, Cynthia, I cannot see CDC winning clearly in any of the counties. The reason is their track record. CDC has disappointed the Liberian people. They have not worked in the best interest of Liberians. So, maybe before it was easier for them because they were running on, a clean slate. But with the record that they have now, I cannot foresee them winning, overwhelmingly or even winning in any county. I want to just comment on what Fagon was saying about the road in Bumi. I did see pictures of the water destroying the road in Bumi, and I did see that they did some kind of patch job work uh, with the road. I think they went in there and just put, I don't know, rocks in the hole. I'm not an engineer, but it just seems to me that they would have done more to prevent that water from, spoiling the road. So I don't know. That. It didn't seem right to me. It just seemed like their job was just too quickly done. I think engineers should go out there and check it out. So
Let me
that's my.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, and this question goes to you and Kobu and Gibson. Can CDC win Monserrado?
No, actually, it's the least the county that I expect CDC to have the least amount of vote, and simply because Montserrat is a very diverse county. There's a lot of people that are probably well educated or exposed to not, exposed to other way of living, and so I think CDC can easier get away with their message with people who are less. Are easily influenced. I would say people who are easily influenced would be people who are much further from Monrovia. But I think the people in Monrovia are very savvy. They got a lot of exposure. They got access to information, and so I think that I don't expect CDC to win bigly, or if they win at, they probably won't win at all in Monserrate.
Kobu, can CDC win Monserrado?
No.
Why no?
We were used them. People would not want to use this analogy, but use the senatorial by election as a case study. I agree that President Weah is the most popular citizen, and he wasn't on the ticket, but he campaigned for those candidates. He put a face to it. He said, "This is what I want." He was everywhere. He desperately wanted it, but the people rejected his request. One of the reasons you see they have gotten a good chunk of the votes in Monserrado over the time is because of the subsisting population in areas of Monserrado. And our people are likely to say, oh, this is our party, this is our son. But over the years, like Dr. Richardson alluded to, that people are in the city, they were more savvy. They got to understand that their expectations were not met, that their children are not in school, that they cannot provide for themselves, that they are beggars, that they will have to wait for electoral season to walk by line or get on free bus to go and get $10, $20, and or 25 kg rice. The people know better. Monserrado is the central point of our politics. So all of this message, they were getting it. They were online, they are listening, the radio stations cover those areas. And our people in Monserrado, we're going to see them losing grip bigly in Monserrado. Because even out of the political parties, you have like say 20 people in a race now. Some of those new people, like we get into hear about Arvin Brown, Robert Morris. Some people have not heard about those people across the interior, but in Monserrado, they will get their own little vote there because it's the city. So by the time you do that distribution and you're looking at a Unity Party that has historically performed well in Monserrado, and you look at now some seditions who have cut across because why they don't agree with what the party did or did not do for them, you're going to see a great underperformance of the CDC in Monserrado. It doesn't matter how much cash violence, how much rice out there, how much lapa out there. Those t-shirts are yard clothes. The people know it now. You can wear campaign t-shirt anywhere. Now, yard clothes, people are not going to give you power for yard clothes. And we want to let our people know that there is power in your vote. If you want to put it to test, look at Nima. Fagon was saying something about Nima here on Moali. When the rescue train left Nima, do you know what happened in Nima? The high school in Ban area got a new bus because they say, wow, we need to make these people happy. Now they realize that the power is inherent in the people. We need to help them. They now started to talk about the relocation of the government hospital in Senecole, things they have not done all along. our people will not be fooled, because in Nima is a gross disrespect to our integrity as citizens to have our county development funds from ArcelorMittal Health, where the government said there's a surplus, is not released to our county. Those are issues that are unique to us, tailored to us as Nibarians, and our people are going to vote against it. Similarly, in Bon, their county development fund. Similarly, in Monserrata, there are issues these people know. So I do not see how on October 10, Monserrata can fall to the CDC.
Let's talk about Monserrata, about my brother Gibson. What say you? Forget that you're opposition to Joseph Boakai. Let's just talk about the general opposition to that of the imposition. Can CDC, the pathway of CDC winning Monserrata County?
No, CDC will not win model. They will struggle for votes in Monserrata County. I think Mayor put it very right. In Monserrata County, there are a lot of people who know what they are doing. Even though there are some people still who might vote on the basis of name, just we are, or Joe we are, and I'm going to vote Joe. There are few people who are still leaning that way. But the majority of the people, look at the media landscape. George Weah has no good name with the media. And all the media institutions are discussing his weaknesses. And those people who are listening, when I was there, I was listening to, how do you call it, True FM, Prime FM, all the FM, your own station. I listened to all of them, and I didn't hear any program like a jingle or promo from the CDC to any of the radio station advertising whatever they want to do. I didn't hear any of that. And all of the discussion were talking about the weaknesses of the government, the failure of the government, the inability of the government to lead, the corruption, the graft, and the embezzling character of government officials. It's all being discussed in the media. And Monserrata County is the crumb of Liberian media outburst. So there's no way that George Weah can have a place. Yes, he will struggle, he will fight, he is still popular, and what Gongo usually said, we shall never overlook our opponents, and that's the only way we can measure up our activities to the ability of the opponent. So we can't outrightly dismiss George Weah. We know Nefer said he's still the most popular sedition. Therefore, when we are going towards him, we go with everything we have. But Monserrata, it's not a George Weah winning county. He will never win. That will be split between the opposition parties, and in the runner-up, whoever goes against George Weah in the runner-up will clinch Monserrata easily, because George Weah has shown to himself he has no place in the heart of the people. They have realized that he no longer belonged to them. He disappointed them. He misled them. He was so ungrateful to the power that they gave him. And so they are not in the mood to give him Monserrata anymore.
Well, 7 minutes left. Dr. Richardson set this up for me. This is very interesting. I know I promised the folks that we'll be discussing the closure of Spoon, but again, the CEO, Madam Titi Kane, asked me to hold off, that we can do that later on during this week. I must listen to Madam Titi Kane. She says, Stanton, no, we shouldn't do this at this time. We'll discuss it in its full length. When I'm ready, I will let you guys know. So, sorry, folks, it's not me. The CEO, Madam Titi Kane, saying, hold off yet. But let's talk about this.
She's an old hand. Listen to her. She's an old hand.
Gibson raised a good point over here. As much as these guys don't want to close every radio station, as much as they have taken 99.9% of the media, paying folks, yet it's still the message. The only person that is saying get Joe Weah picture behind her, that Dr. Richardson, the message is not going anywhere. Gibson, it's not. If you come up strong like this and say Joe Weah cannot win Monserrata because by evidence in nursing, in the medical field, you say as evidence by, right, Dr. Richardson? As evidence by, they don't whip them how many times? They don't whip them. Not one, not two, but 3 times. So talk to me, Dr. Richardson. It's something, it would do this county by county. Now, how we set this thing up. So let's talk about this Monserrata County.
In Monserrata, or in Liberia as a whole, and I think we can use Monserrato as a sample. When you're hungry, you feel that you're hungry. It's not something, a message that somebody can tell you. You're hungry. And that's what CDC has not provided for the people. For the first time in Liberia, we have had rice shortage. So people felt that hunger. People felt the need to fight. I think we saw pictures over here where a woman was even climbing the fence trying to get rice. The same thing. When you're sick, you feel it. It's not something that somebody can lie to you and say, "Oh, we got medicine in the hospital," or "We got good health system." It's something that you can feel it. Almost every one of us on this network have family in Liberia. In Liberia, where at least we have had them die on us, or either the fear of them getting so severely ill where they didn't have any medication. So it's something that people can feel. The same thing with education. Liberian people, we love education. I mean, one of the things I know my father stressed was, like he said, you can, do anything you want to do, but once you're an educated person, that's your ticket to going far in life. So Liberian parents, one of the first things that we stress is education. If you cannot find a job to send your child to school, for your child to be educated, that is a problem. That's something you worry about. That's something you feel. So I don't care what kind of message George Weah can tell the people. They are feeling the burden of his incompetency. They are feeling the burden of his inability to work for them. And so, in Monserrato, you can't tell that Liberian people in Monserrato say, "Oh, listen to George Weah, he will tell you something different." No. Second, again, like I said, I think the people in Monserrato tend to be more liberal in their voting pattern. They tend to, vote more like, knowing all the news and everything. They don't tend to be stuck to a certain political party. I want to also talk about the women as well. I haven't seen the recent statistics, but I think women tend to be very good voters. They tend to think about, the future. They tend to think about the children. They tend to think about what they have available to them. So, and I'm sure women in Monserrato County are much more advanced. They are very knowledgeable as to what is happening, and women as well in Liberia. But since we talk about Monserrato, so I'm thinking that these women will make a difference in terms of the voting pattern in Monserrato. And I can say that Mr. Cummings tend to benefit from liberal voters.
Wow. So I listen. I hope we can have the chance to ask folks in Liberia. This is scaring. If CDC, with the amount of vote coming from Monserrato, the largest, right, Gibson? I think that's the largest
Yes.
vote-rich county in the country. Then, if you said no to CDC, let's just tap into NIMBA for a bit. Can CDC win NIMBA?
Nope.
I'm going to do Monserrato, NIMBA, and Lofa. Then we'll come down to the rest of the other smaller counties. Can Gibson, you go ahead. Can CDC win NIMBA?
NIMBA will fall to Gongo. CDC cannot win NIMBA. The second person that will come close to the vote is JMB in NIMBA County. The people of NIMBA, they are aware that George Weah mean nothing for them. All of those things he's distributing now, they should have been distributed many years ago. People are not crazy. NIMBAians are not one of the people in the voting history of Liberia that you have, they are consistent, are the NIMBA people. And they're simple. George Weah has lost the respect with the people of NIMBA. All that thing he's doing in NIMBA, the people already know he lost his respect with them. He cannot win NIMBA. But I can tell you, NIMBA will be hotly contested. At the end of the day, Gongo will come victorious in NIMBA because the NIMBA people, they like their own. But George Weah, no, NIMBA is a no-go area. JMB has a very good grasp of NIMBA, in NIMBA more than George Weah. I can tell you for sure. Based on our tentacles that we are planting on the ground, look, we have people in every village that are working and registering people in NIMBA County. Councilor Gonglo, they own 293,000 villages in NIMBA County. In NIMBA County, no other presidential candidate in history of Liberia have done that. And we have people all on the ground. That's why we believe that the work we are doing in NIMBA is going to yield a better fruit. George Weah, he's just doing it superficially. He thinks he can use cash violence. And then in fact, it's an insult to the NIMBAians to think that you will carry them, or pick up maybe bicycle or, carry stuff to the school and think they're just going to give their vote. It's an insult. You can't do it like that to people. They should respect them for who they are. And that's what I believe The Bayans will not consider George Weah. He will struggle. He will struggle to even get 10% in Nima County.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you from Nimba, Cole, talk to us. The chances of George Mano we are winning Nimba County, and why you think your candidate will be the one to deliver Nimba County for the Liberian people?
You know, one thing, one famous quote from one of our opposition leaders, Mr. Cummings, he always say, look at the past performance and to predict future performance. Look at how CDC has performed in Nima in the past. Without the assistance of Prince Johnson, they've performed dismally. So the people of Nimba, let me tell you something about them. They are proud people. And while it's true that Monserrato leads in numbers, Nima is also one of the most literate counties. It has a lot of high schools, more than most of the counties. You know, you have a lot of schools. The people love to learn. And Nima Community College is very much equipped in many of the colleges around town. Our people know that the bikes, the rice, the school bus is nothing compared to our social development funds that is sitting there from Asela Meta. While you claim you have a surplus and you have over $9 million for our people that you are not releasing to our counties, that money can build, equip schools, universities, modern roads, equip our hospitals that now you don't have equipments in. Nothing though is at the bare minimum right now. Our people know that school bus and bike is not what they need. They know they have their own money. It's like you freezing my account and telling me you will give me hand out. So our people are going to look at those issues when they go to vote. So there is no way, especially without the endorsement of well-meaning Libyans, that they will be able to get vote. Nima is not a hungry place. No man in Ganta just come and support you for bag or rice. Our people are extremely industrious, very hardworking people, and very smart people. I tell you this, when it comes to Nima, we are in a comfortable position. Historically, Nibayans have voted for JMB, plus or minus who he had on his ticket. If you look at 2017, you see it. JMB is one of the only presidential candidates who, when he goes to Nima, he goes beyond the football field. He's accepted in our traditional bushs. Our traditional leaders have a huge admiration for him because traditionally we are aligned with the people of Lofa. So JMB has had his own share of admiration with the people of Nimba. But now he's carrying one of their sons, a three-time elected official. And the people of Nimba, they love Bungalow. Don't get it wrong. That's one of their sons too. But I think being so analytical, they were thinking now, which son is closer to the finish line? And that way you will see the battling of votes. So my projection would be JMB is going to win Nima, followed by Gonglo. And if there's ever a runoff, 100% Gonglo on our side, we are aligned in every way. Nima will fully fall to the UP.
Wow. Dr. Richardson, can Nima fall to ANC?
You know, I'm going to be objective. I think I've been objective with looking at the different counties. I think everybody's going to get the share of Nimba. I don't think one predominant person, a leader, will at this time will win Nimba. We have two sons of Nimba in the race. The question could be asked of one of them: what have you done for your county so far? When did you come back to your county? And Nima people like asking those kind of questions. As Mepe said, they're one of the smartest, group that we have in Liberia. They're literate more than other counties. The second question they will ask is, okay, you are in power again. What did you do when you're in power for us? So that's another question they will ask. And secondly, Prince Johnson, I'm sorry to say, I'm so sure many people will disagree with me on this one. He is not as powerful as he used to be. When we had the war eras, kind of closer to the war era, I think that a lot of people respected Prince Johnson, but a lot of Liberians have deviated so far. They're trying to learn and understand who is in their corner. And obviously, Prince Johnson was part of the CDC camp, and he actually didn't question the money that Accelerator owe them until recently. So the buyers are looking at this as well. They're saying, why now? You've been there all these many years. Accelerator been in our country all these many years. Why didn't you question? You fighting for us now. So the buyers will ask, those kind of questions. But I think CDC is out. I really think CDC is
Out
out.
of Nima.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get very minimum votes in Nima.
Let's talk about Lofa, and we're gonna close on Lofa. Your take, Gibson.
May I talk about what happened in the past to go forward? I still believe JMB has a very great sway in Lofa County, but I'm really afraid in Lofa. And the reason is very simple. There are a lot of resources from sons and daughters of Lofa County in the ruling establishment that are doing so much to confuse their people. Now, do I still believe that JMB can win Lofa? Yes, I do. We as Gonglo people, we are not going to be foolhardy to say we're going to win Lofa. That's foolhardy thought. We know we will get some votes in Lofa. We may not win a lot of votes, but we're going to get some votes. But Lofa, JMB will win it, but it will be at the skin of his teeth. Because we have to evaluate the opponent for us to realize what our strength against the opponent is surmountable or it's not surmountable. George Weah has planted a lot of resources in Lofa County. The last election tells me two things made George Weah win in Lofa: money and the lack of pool washer from the Unity Party. Money and lack of pool washer. Some of the places in Lofa County, there were virtually no pool washer from the Unity Party. And George Weah and his people, they took the central bank and set it down right in Vanyama and were distributing money across Lofa that confused the people, and they ended up voting for someone who CDC just went on him because he was independent, and CDC gave him all the support because CDC knew that they couldn't put up a candidate in Lofa and win. Once they said that CDC candidate, it will reverberate. It will reverberate in the Lofian ear that it is an opponent of JMB. But when they went behind the independent candidate, it looks like they were voting for an independent candidate, but they were actually voting for George Weah and his CDC. Again, George Weah will send the central bank to Lofa again, just for the sake of making JMB to look timid in the Liberian politics. To say, oh, the man say he can win, but he can't even win his own county. That's what George Weah will try to prove. If George Weah does not win anywhere else in Liberia, he wants to win in Lofa. And if Unity Party wants to win in Lofa County, they need a better goal in Lofa County and go to every town and villages just as Gonglo did in Nima County. Don't assume that Lofa County is yours until you are sure that it is yours. That's the way I want to say about it. But I'm still optimistic that JMB will win Lofa County, but by the skin of his teeth.
Dr. Richardson, you want to take us home? A wonderful program today. The guys have to travel again. JMB is on his way to Minnesota. The guys, Mo Adi had to travel to Minnesota. Kowu, are you going? Are you meeting JMB in Minnesota?
Sure, CEO, yes.
Huh?
Yes, CEO, by the grace of God.
Oh, so you'll be there. Okay. All right. That's a product. Dr. Richardson, will you be there?
You know the answer. All of y'all know the answer today on this panel.
So the answer is yes. Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
No, the answer is no.
But talk to us, man. So you guys have 3 county. One, before we go, folks, let's show you this picture from our, there we go. That's what you're talking about, right, Dr. Richardson and Gibson?
Yeah, yeah.
This is from Bomi, right?
Yeah. That's what's on social media. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Gibson, how can President Weah win Bomi County on us snow?
Um, George Weah will fight in bombing, but he will not win. Snow will fight very harder for him. He will not win. Snow, as you know, Snow already has beef with JMB, and that beef is not actually a deep-seated beef that he has with JMB. It was just about
Mm-hmm.
the
Text
communication
message.
between him, George Weah, on account of some money that was supposed to change hands. And
Mm-hmm.
so Snow take it extra. He took it to an extra mile, claiming that JMB threatened him. Based on that, he made a switch to CDC. But look, bombing has an inherent problem, like the Fagon said. The misuse of the resources of Bombay County, the destruction of the road network in Bombay County as a result of very heavy machineries and trucks with iron ore and other materials. The Bombay people are mad about those things. But again, we all need to go back to Councilor Gongre is going to Bombay very to Birmingham. He has visited almost 17 towns there. He's going back there. And the reason we all need to go back there, let's disregard whether you are from this opposition or the other opposition. Our common enemy is George Weah. So all of us should go there and send one message. The message is George Weah is a nemesis for the development and progress of Liberia. That's the message we should carry.
But
That
how can George Weah, how can the president, how can Snow, after the very western cluster that he hit the 14 point something million dollars, the very western cluster that he got in lie and took the people money and gave it back to the company, the very western cluster that refused to hire Liberians, but every 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., Gibson trucks of Liberia resources through Douala Market to the free port of Monrovia. Those people making tons of millions of dollars.
millions of
But
dollars.
then
Yeah.
look, I want you to just look. Liberians need to understand. Look at the barrow when we have a president call himself barrow medicine. How can he redeem himself? How? What will be the message? This is
You
a
know,
first hand that I see clear, 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 clear. What would be personal? We have message to the people of Bombay.
I doubt whether he has any new message. But here is what's going to happen. Sometimes you know that spoon talk is very powerful because we reach a lot of ears and people are beginning to understand the issues. Snow has one of the most powerful radio stations in Bombay County. It covers the whole of Bombay County. He has some of the best talking journalists in Bombay County. What are they going to do? What are they going to tell the people on the ground? How are they going to transmit the message? How are they going to tailor their message and package the message in the ears of the people? This is where we have to fight. Because Snow, it's not just Snow. He has a radio station. Not only that, he got money. Not only that, he got collaborations. So if we say Snow is not going to do anything, I doubt it. Because even that radio station alone, just the radio station alone, Snow can woo a
Yeah,
lot of
but
votes for
what we
him.
saying, we understand all of that.
So
Sometimes messaging Gibson, the people
messaging, yes,
seeing it. They
yes.
seeing it clearly. There's no, you cannot lie.
No, no, you
The
can't, you
people
can't.
of
And that,
Bombay woke up,
yes.
and there's a sort of bad rule. They
So I
cannot
don't know
move the
how Snow
goods.
journalists
They
are going to
cannot
talk
move
about the rule.
the market stuff. They cannot travel. They are stranded. Go. This is not propaganda. It's fact. We are seeing it. Even motorbike driver gotta be careful. He cannot move on that thing. And
I just
that's
hope this
exactly
picture
why
is shown
people
on
were
Bombay
crying,
County as well.
saying, Snow, you're messing up. You don't do this. You don't do this. You don't do this. And it end up with this one today. Go, let's wrap this thing up. You do your closing. And not tomorrow we'll get on the even move.
All right. Yeah, I see these cosmetic rolls. They're like political face peak. They look fun on the on top part when the rain comes. And it's a disaster for our people. You see, the people of Bombay sometimes I pity their condition because they're so close to Monrovia, yet they're still far away. That place is like a 45 minutes drive. And the people of Bomi should be in touch with a lot of things in terms of development. But sometimes it's the leaders that we have. So at the end of the day, you're looking at people who are aligned with political party. But when those people go to them for to senators and representatives for assistance, they say it's the central government. Oh, we just helping you all, but are the government supposed to post school year? That the government supposed to equip them? That the Richardson says something important about feeding hunger. The bread and butter issues are the issues people are going to church and they were going to vote using those issues in these elections. You can pour all the last minute to time money in Lofa. It will help you, but there are ways that people vote. And the number one way will be the bread and butter issues and how they identify, how they connect with you. The time is too short to fix anything. The campaign cannot fix anything for CDC at this time. In all of these counties, you got Cape Man, you got Bombing right there, Bapolu, places that are not even far from Douala. And those places are, underdeveloped. There is nothing there that the people can hold on to. Those places, look how beautiful Cape Man is. Should be vacation spots, should be developed that people can just go there. But today, those counties are lacking behind. People only see them when they are on the campaign tour. When they go in car and get out and say, "Hey, yeah, the beach fine in the Cape Man area." Our people are going to oppose that. They were going to vote for the opposition. They were going to vote for change. And I'm telling you, Omen Boyka has the largest stint. He's willing. There's something about the CDC. They have not shown strength in leveraging political power or bringing people together for the last 6 years. The cabinet that has been unchanged in all of our history. I'm telling you, people know that these people do not want to bring Liberians together to develop their country. So people are running to Omen Boyka. He has room for everybody. He knows talented people all across the political art, even in the CDC. There are some good guys there. There are some talented people. Look at Phil Dixon. There are some smart guys who have credibility. He's going to reach across the eye. He's telling us to scout talents across opposition lines. Because when that time comes, whether it be Mr. Kumis at the head, whether it be Councillor Gonglo, whether it be Boyka, there will be nothing that will stop the political migration towards a change of this government. And before I go again, I will assure you, and every time I come here, that Omen Boyka has assured us that in his executive mansion, under his watch, there is room for everybody. And I believe him. If he had not told me so, I will not be telling you tonight. Have a good night. And Gibson, we will all see in Minnesota. Come and get the old man blessing. We are one people. We are more aligned and we are divided. Even Tata Richardson, don't go there. We'll see the good news to her that we get from there this weekend. And there's a place Tata Richardson should be controlling our social services in the Boyka Lair government, except she refuses. So there's room for everybody. If it weren't so, I will not be telling you tonight.
Yeah, but I like the faith that you have, You really, really have a strong faith in Buckeye.
He's a very optimistic person. That's a very great attitude. If
Because
I were
faith
you,
is
I'd
a
say of
substance.
the texting, you do
Because
good.
faith is a substance of things hoped for, and the
Yes,
evidence
absolutely.
of things not seen.
And then you
That's
evangelist,
exactly
you always
because she
put
said
Bible
if you
Wednesday.
didn't
Are
tell
you
me
evangelist?
so, I wouldn't have said so. That's exactly why I used the word faith because she got faith in him.
But that Richardson, let's do the closing. Go ahead, man.
When I think about the way how Liberians are thinking about this election, I think they're thinking about, who has not lied to us, who has not been in government before. And Mr. Cummings comes to mind. He has not been in government before. Liberians want something new. They want somebody to trust, okay, who they can trust. They tried they tried CDC, and CDC let them down. They were looking for somebody who they said, oh, somebody who got Liberia heart. And obviously, we see that, as soon as CDC took power, they started enriching themselves. So leaving the Liberian people behind. Mr. Cummings, again, even though Miepe said Vice President Boyka has a room for everyone, but Mr. Cummings, he always says, I want to make Liberia a more deserving place. I want every Liberian to have the opportunity to do better and be better. Some of the things, we talked about how, I hear Mia come, oh, Mr. Vice President Parker wants to make Liberia a better place. He got room for everybody, but how is he going to do that? I don't hear her offering that. I don't hear, the other candidates offering that. What Mr. Cummings has suggested, he has been the only person basically talking about this. He spoke about the low-hanging fruits like ecotourism. We can use all of the beautiful sites, that you talk about, like Cape Mount, develop like some very low, easy, environmental friendly resorts. Okay, that would generate money that would employ Liberians. He talked about using places like Patawi, going Maryland, Sano, River G. Those places have beautiful beaches. It's just a matter of using them and making them accommodating and accessible to Liberians and to the other parts of the world. He talked about stopping wasteful spending in the government. Right now, everything is so wasteful. The government, since CDC took over the hiring of CDC members, he's going to cut down wasteful spending and use that money to work in the interest of Liberian people. We can use that money directly to quality education, not just educating people, but quality education. He wants to visit the hearts and minds of people, and to do that, people often feel like they feel better when they get justice. And this is what he wants to do, strengthen the justice system. We got lots of laws. Any one of you guys can tell us here today, we have lots of laws on the book. But are those laws being fairly implemented or even implemented at all? And that's what Mr. Cummings wants to do. He wants to be able to implement the laws, strengthen the justice system, fight corruption. He has not been a part of all of the corrupt system in Liberia. And Liberian people are thinking about that. And so I'm asking Liberians, listen, you had CDC in power. You had, I'm sorry, Unity Power, Unity Party in power for a long time, okay? And of course, Tiawan Konglo was a part of Unity Party, even though he respectfully resigned from his position. Try something different. Try somebody new. Somebody, again, we talk about systems, somebody who's been into digital system, because that's where the world is going. I'm not sure if Miepe can tell me that her candidate can understand digital system, and that's how we're going to have to save money, by computerizing and digitizing our system. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson.
Gibson,
can you take us home?
Your talents. That's why we're bringing you on board, 110.
Dr. Richardson, you don't know what GMB can do digital system. You do the whole time.
Bring the ANC guys on board so that people like Gibson to strengthen the media and make it the integrity.
Okay, look, I don't have a long thing to say. First of all, let me just say that I will make sure, Stanton, that the VP schedule is texted to you, because it's long overdue. I think it's my fault not being able to keep up. So I will correct that and send it to you. And also, look, these elections are very important. I always say the opposition is united. Member said that too. We are united more than we are divided. But in this original stage, we'll make the distinction of the candidates. At the end of the day, like Rimpo will still decide who they want to go runner up with George Weah. We cannot rule out the possibility that George Weah may go runner up. But it will be a good thing that Ganglo go against JMB or against Cummings, or Cummings against JMB. That will be a fabulous, fabulous election time that we'll ever see in our history. And we believe that Ganglo, if you want to see, let me just talk to you, the undecided voter. If you want to see the corrupt ministers in Georgia government be prosecuted, investigated, and prosecuted, vote for George or vote for Ganglo. If you want to see all the other reports investigated and prosecuted, vote for Ganglo. If you want to see that if you are in a county and you want the decentralization of companies operating in various counties, here is Ganglo plan. Companies that will go in the leeward counties to go and operate will get tax break and will be mandated to employ the citizens of that county. You're not bringing anybody from Monrovia to go work in that county. You want that? Go for Gongo. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, folks.
Can I just say something?
Let me tell you about
Yes.
girl. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
I hope that you feel better, recover well from the accident.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Who?
Dr.
She
Richardson.
had an accident?
You
She was
just
playing
want
Napo.
earlier.
she just want cheese,
You had
but
an accident?
yeah, CEO and
I'm
Ali
sorry.
Earlier.
on spoon.
Oh, I didn't hear her. I'm sorry very much, Go. Why? What's going on? A car accident or what?
I was seeing Walmart
Well,
and I called her. She was trying to rush and then she slipped.
CEO, let me
I'm
just
sorry.
tell you what happened to a little girl. That just a quick information. So this girl was in class. Then the teacher went and asked. The teacher said, "Why you want to be?" The other boy put in him, or he said, "I'm going to go into IT and I'm going to invest in stock market. I'm going to be successful. I will be a millionaire." Then the teacher asked the kid, "What?" The teacher said, "I'm so impressed by you, my young man." Turn to the kid, said, "What about you?" The guy said, "I want to be a wife." All the talents they have in the ANC and the justice system, we are bringing them on Joseph Boyka beaten. We know they have talents. We know they have ability. That's why old man Joseph Boyka has opened his arms to bring them together since he's the forerunner in these elections. Having defeated the CDC, we can sweep and fix the country together.
What were the other story about the fufu? Can you explain
I
that story?
urged the girl to be his wife.
So that's the issue. She chose not to complete the story, right? So so somebody said this, and they said this is interesting. They asked the girl, "Where are you from?" Where, she said from Africa, and the teacher said, "Where in Africa?" She said Liberia. Can you explain the story, Cole?
The teacher asked the girl, say, "What the food are unique to you?" The girl said,
So
"Fufu."
unique food, yeah.
Yeah. The teacher said, "Fufu, spell that." She said, F-U-F-U. The teacher said, "Get outside." The teacher said, you insulting me?
But she was spelling fufu, right?
No, but
Fufu
I
is
have to
F-U-F-U.
yeah. But at the end of the day, remember that we are more united than we are divided on political lines, and together we will change our country. Together, everyone will be brought under the rescue tank. And having rescued, we can now start to sweep with the justice system and we can fix things together. You have those talents, we recognize
Ellen,
it, and we will.
Paul, we want to say thank you for joining us. Prince Freeman, thank you. Seth Kamara. We want to say thank you to Jomadi Scott, Jome Scott. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, Jomadi. Yeah, I know who's there. Jome, try to text me, okay? I got a message for you. Jacques Match, we want to say thank you, Dodo, Pete Cook, Uncle Pete. If you love JMB, you would tell him to blank, blank, blank. I'm not ending what you're saying, Uncle Pete. Ali Kamara, we want to say thank you for joining us. Ella B. Williams, Cole Glover, Vocal Mobile. She said that's great. Amos Derrick, Mose Conan, Patricia Williams. We want to say thanks to every one of you. It is important to note, as much as we love to do this, sometimes it's tiring, but because of you, we make it on the show every day to give you this information. Please, guys, Liberia deserves better. Liberia deserves better. You cannot do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Trust me, it is important. You must vote. You guys can hear me? I looked like I was spinning off. You must vote. You must vote. You have that thing. Try to protect your polling station. Some party don't have the money. But you as a citizen, you're in that community, don't go to bed till they like that bags and you follow that bags all the way to NEC. Don't go to bed. On election day, there should be no one sleeping. We're going to say this over and over. Whether you sedition, you Unity Party, you CPP, you from Taiwan Gonglo Party, any party, on election day, there should be no sleeping. I want to tell you, if you are in North Panton, be around that polling station. Be there. We're not saying go there and demonstrate, no. We are not saying go there and protest, no. But on election day, it should be tiring. You know how you go to church, you have tiring? All the over there in the community should buy hot water and face tea. Get your food out bread or face the donut. This is very, very important. We cannot trust any party, not even your own party. Because if you are caught sleeping, trust me, they're going to take this election from you. I don't know who they are, but somebody planning something evil to wreck this election. Somebody, some kind of party planning something evil to steal this election from you, the Liberians. So there should be no sleeping on election day. I come to tell you, clear. Get your hot chocolate, get your coffee, get your over tea, get your hot tea, Lipton tea, what kind of tea. If you want to take your little canned juice, take it, but you got to be up. You got to sit where they get at school. Everybody, you got to sit. If you want to put a campfire or bonfire, put it on. This is very important. Whether you're in Lofa, whether you're in Bombing, whether you're in Grand Bassa, Bon County, Nimba, River G, River Cess, wherever county you find yourself, there should be no sleeping on election day. We will say this over and over. Get ready. It's the fight for our lives. It's for the young people that need to have better education. There should be no sleeping. If you get children, don't sleep because your children deserve better. Your 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 9-year-old deserve better. Sitting between cars, it's not the solution for them. You see, that's the message we got to give, but then the people say, you know what? Titi said I shouldn't talk. I really want to say something about the radio station. But Mother Titi said, don't say it yet. I really do.
It's okay.
The message needs to be heard, my friend. Tell your brothers and sisters, I don't want to see anybody sleeping on election day. If that person calls and says CPP, CDC, UP, and they go in the bathroom, follow them. Follow them. When they leave in that bathroom, just stand to the door. Look at their hands. Look at the clothes, the jacket they wear. See what they put underneath. We are in a very terrible time because you know what? Somebody want to wreck the election. Do not be caught sleeping. They can say what they want to say. They can shut us down. They can do what they want to do. But my friend, I come to tell you, trust me, they are planning something very, very bad. Don't sleep. Tell your job, tell your husband, tell your wife, take your lapa, you in Yukuta, put it on the sand, sit down there. If you're in Funde and that police station on the beach, go on the beach. Get your food ready. If you get no food, and that pakana you bust your pakana and chew it all night till the next morning. Don't sleep. No sleeping on election night. Fight like it's your life depend on it. Trust me. Fight with everything you have in you. Who the supervisor at the polling station? Know that person. Know where they live. Tell them we are watching.
Yep.
Political parties don't have money. Not all the political parties get money. When you think Kwame's up and down, he's looking for money. He want to pay his poll watcher.
True.
When you think Joseph Boyka in America hustling? The government got money. They just passed $64 million. They come to do another loan again and talk about chicken egg loan. The chicken and the egg loan. That's another money. They talk about recasting the budget for $29 million. That's another money going in the pocket. They will do everything they can. They will give you new motorbike. They will tell you we build your house 3-bedroom. They will tell you we buy you 3-4 bed rest. For 6 years, that 3-4 bed rest you live on, I come to tell you today, there's a better days ahead. Better days ahead. That you will see your sons and your daughter traveling. Better days ahead. That when you enter the University of Liberia, you say, yes, I'm on campus. Better days ahead. That when you enter into the university lab, amen, you will see state-of-the-art equipments. When you enter the library like the one our brother Leo is building, congrats to Leo and his team. I must say it. I don't care where he get the money from, but he think Liberia first. And he said, my fellow Liberians need this. He encouraged investors into the country. And when you enter into that library, you will be proud. You will do research. You will have internet access. Let me say this to you. This election, my friend, don't sleep. Tell everybody, get your new laptop, put it on the sand, put it on the ground, sit on there. I let how the crew man they can tie the laptop that the Richardson, they can tie it. If it costs you to cook late in the night, cook your pan butter outside, Gibson. If it costs you to cook your dry rest, hey man, all the young men in, get your JBC ready, jump before you clap. Because it will be tiring on election day. And we must say this every day. Because the people think they got money, they can go in the interior. They can pay somebody, they can pay the chief, they can pay a city mayor. But you know what? We as Liberian, God have given us the mind, God have given us the heart. We will not sleep on election day. They will say, you go to bed, we say no. They will call the police, we say we're not leaving. May God bless you. May God bless you. I don't want nobody sleeping on election day. And I will say this, with 78 days to go, I will say this every day. I don't care they say we'll give you this. Say, no, I'm not sleeping. But this day, the market, nobody sleeping on election day. The whole country, they can carry current, will be up. Nobody sleeping on election day. The entire country will be awake. Even the babies will be awake. We will play Nafo, we will play Baya, we will cook, we will eat, we will dance, we will bring the church people outside, we will play the diet jump, we will do everything. We need to do it. We will bring them outside, we'll play the diet jump. We will cook our dry rest. We will eat, but we will not sleep because they want us to sleep. And when you sleep, it's over. Let God bless you. Let God keep you. Till we meet again, have a good evening. Nelson, come on. I know Nelson want to ask me what we're doing late night.
We'll keep all our money to make sure that we don't sleep.
We have to, no sleeping. Listen, I'm trying to hustle seriously and see if somebody can just bless us, that will just bless the old money. Then you go in the heart of Noah Panton, where you get the Chinese papaya. They get a little open field over there. They will cook a big pan butter bowl. Where you get D12 school. I tell you right now, it's a police station, D12 school. They will go on the side and cook, and everybody will say that there. We will see clear. We need to do this. Go to Funde.
It's not too late on Nelson's side. Nelson?
No, nursing home.
Careful. Oh, nursing home. Wow.
Yeah. Go to Funde. Go to these different areas, and you understand that we need to encourage our fellow Liberians to do the right thing. Nelson, thank you, man. I have an appointment.
Nelson will be there until tomorrow morning. You're not going anywhere.
I know I have an appointment. I'm going to reach out to James for us to squeeze this late night thing in tonight, okay? So get it ready. You know it's 9 o'clock. We got about 2 hours to go. Dr. Richardson, thank you very much. My regards to your family. We wish you well, man. Thank you very much. You don't have to bring the crutches on the show to show to the president and other people that you hurt yourself. Gibson, I'm sorry, Cole.
Your class,
this is my foot, and I move along with age. I have your foot on you.
Cole, I leave it. I can see you and Cole can do it.
Well, thank you, and we will see. Thank you, Nelson, for the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Yeah. Okay, folks. That's how I would like to wrap up on this edition of the program, Spoon Talk. You can join us tomorrow, same time, for another edition of the program. But you can get ready to join us at 9 p.m. Eastern Time or 1 a.m. Liberian Time for another edition of the program, Late Night Politics of Spoon. I'm Nelson Colette. Bye-bye for now.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.